Hey guys! Welcome to Manhwa Empire!
Buckle up, because this story is about to blow your mind. We're diving into a gripping manhwa, where a simple commute home takes a dark turn. Meet our protagonist, just off the bus, trying to get home after a long day at work. He's exhausted, but he's not ready to give up yet. Let's see what happens next. As he walks through the neon-lit city, he reflects on his day. Yeah, Appa? I'm on my way home from work. It's okay, I'm not that tired. I just got off the bus. The city looms around him, but something feels off. Is he really alone? Let's keep watching to find out. Shin impactful, a deafening blow shatters the silence. Raw, sudden, and merciless. This isn't a warning. It's a declaration that the rules of this dead city have just been rewritten in blood. Her measured. Then comes the chilling explanation. The danger itself is the reason for comfort. It reveals a twisted logic where survival depends on embracing fear, leaving us to wonder who truly holds the power in this shadowed exchange. The older investigator in the crimson suit explains a strange comfort. High heel noises that should have signaled a woman. His dark-haired partner listens quietly, the assumption hanging between them like a false safety net. Suddenly, the older man's face freezes in wide-eyed shock, his confidence shattered. His partner offers only silence, a blank stare that forces him to confront the horrifying truth alone. Desperate for logic, the older man asks if this pervert considers it a hobby. His partner delivers a chilling reply. If it is, then he's remarkably bad at it. The answer doesn't comfort, it only deepens the mystery of what they're truly facing. The blonde investigator studies the suspect's disheveled appearance with unsettling clarity. No makeup, no grooming, nothing to feed an ego. She realizes this isn't a typical predator playing a role, but something driven by pure, unfiltered need. The conclusion lands like a blade. He isn't maintaining an image. He's a genuine threat fueled solely by compulsion. The word strips away all illusion, confirming they face not a calculated criminal, but a primal danger that needed no disguise. The dark-haired partner reveals they've already secured the target, unexpectedly identifying him as the infamous Miss Perverted Killer. But her sharp correction cuts deeper. This wasn't a capture. Calling it catching dangerously underestimates what they've actually walked into. The corridor falls silent as the team confronts a sight that defies explanation. A veteran officer confesses he has never encountered anything like this in his entire career, confirming that whatever lies ahead breaks every rule they know. The dark-haired investigator freezes, hand raised, as the weight of the unknown crashes over them. His eyes widen in pure disbelief, the shock cutting deeper than fear. This is not a standard crime scene. It is a revelation that shatters his understanding of reality. The emotional stakes explode as he realizes they are facing something far beyond ordinary explanation. The blonde investigator studies the devastation with cold intensity, her mind racing through impossible answers. If no known perpetrator could have caused this, then what kind of hidden power is truly responsible? The unanswered question hangs in the air, dragging the team toward a terrifying truth. Shadows slice across the dark-haired man's face as his eyes narrow with sudden, chilling focus. Something hidden in the silence just revealed itself, and the weight of that truth threatens to shatter everything he thought he knew. His jaw tightens, the last trace of doubt erased by cold, unyielding resolve. He understands now there is no safe path left, only the dangerous truth he must chase into the dark. Under the harsh, flickering light, the stranger looms over the younger figure, who grips an object with trembling hands. The air between them crackles with unspoken danger. This was never a chance meeting, and whatever secret lies scattered on the floor could cost them both everything. The frame locks onto a piercing gaze, shadowed by dark hair and anchored by a cold, calculating stare. A single earring glints in the dim light. This is not curiosity, but a silent warning that something dangerous is already in motion. Then, the words fall like a blade. They will know only if they listen. It is a chilling invitation to uncover secrets, never meant to be heard, leaving everything hanging on the edge of revelation. Massive, stark lettering dominates the frame like a warning carved in stone. The foreign script announces a world where sorcery and death are inseparable, setting an ominous tone before a single character appears. Beneath the shadowed text, the English title locks into place. City of Dead Sorcerer, followed by the creator's mark, Carnby of Team Get Name. It feels less like a credit and more like a signature on a forbidden contract. At the bottom, the opening encounter is declared. The page number and source fade into darkness, leaving only anticipation. Whatever horror or wonder lies ahead, the dead city is already waiting. Crimson droplets fall through an empty white void, each one a silent warning. Something violent has already begun, and the silence only makes it worse. The dark-haired fighter stumbles back, mouth open in pure shock. His armor trembles as he reaches out, realizing the threat is already upon him. Panic floods his eyes. This is not a battle he expected to survive. From the shadows, the crimson-haired figure emerges with a twisted smile, bathed in an eerie violet glow. There is no fear in those eyes, only cruel anticipation. The confrontation has turned deadly, and escape may no longer be an option. The barrel still smoked as shell casings clattered to the floor. Proof the trigger had already been pulled. The older woman stood frozen, her face twisted in raw terror. Sweat and fear etched deep into every line. Behind her, a dark silhouette loomed closer, shattering any hope of rescue. She wasn't being protected, she was being hunted. With gunpowder thick in the air and nowhere to run, she realized the brutal truth. The first shot was only a warning, and the next one wouldn't miss. The long-haired girl thrusts her hand forward against a blinding barrier, her blue coat whipping violently. She is not fleeing. She is reaching, desperate, as if someone she cares about is trapped just beyond the light. The horizontal energy lines crackle with lethal force, and every second she stays exposed raises the stakes. Blood trails down her cheek as her eye widens in pure terror. This is the face of someone who just felt the true cost of failure. The blinding glare behind her offers no salvation, only exposure. Wounded, isolated, and bleeding, she now understands the threat is closer and far more ruthless than she ever imagined. And the worst is still coming. Midnight falls over the city, and the rain hasn't started yet. But the exhaustion already has. From a high window, the glow of a news ticker cuts through the dark, broadcasting celebrity scandals and weather warnings to no one in particular. Down below, the office lights never die. For the overworked soul trapped inside, overtime isn't a choice. It's an unspoken prison. The world moves on with gossip and forecasts. But here, the only forecast is another endless night. He walks the empty street, half joking about reporting the abuse, then laughing it off because unemployment is a far worse fate. The night feels calm, almost peaceful, and he dares to hope others feel it too. But peace is fragile. Just as he reaches his destination, the air shifts. Someone is there. Someone is doing something they shouldn't be. And suddenly, the question isn't about work anymore. It's about survival. The young protagonist freezes, eyes wide with terror, as a shadowy silhouette with jagged antennae towers before him. Clutching his device, he realizes this isn't a nightmare. It's the exact moment his reality collapses into something far more dangerous. Sweat beads on his trembling hands as the screen flashes an urgent delivery command. BUZ, BUZZ! Surrounded by crackling lightning. The message confirms the creature is tied to a mission he cannot refuse, and every heartbeat of delay pulls him deeper into the dead city's grip. Sweat beads on his forehead as the dark, haired man's eyes lock onto the card in his trembling grip. His mouth hangs open, pure disbelief crashing into terror. Whatever that small piece of plastic represents, it just shattered his reality. He is not just holding a card. He is holding the key to something far more dangerous than he ever imagined. The cracked device in his other hand delivers the final blow. A lightning bolt flashes across the screen beside the words Ishoke, Touch. Then, the message hits like a death sentence. Purchase complete. There is no refund, no escape. One accidental tap has just bound him to a fate he never asked for. And the silence that follows feels deafening. Blood and grime streaked her face as she lunged forward, clutching the worn volume with trembling hands. In that desperate reach, it became clear. This book wasn't just an object. It was her only lifeline in a world that devoured the living. From the blackness, a towering silhouette materialized, its form swallowing the light, while an eerie blue glow pulsed in its grip. Trapped and trembling, the young survivor realized she wasn't facing a mere enemy, but the very force that had turned this world into a dead city of shadows. Yet whether that glow meant salvation or final judgment remained terrifyingly unclear. A cold blue interface flickered to life, its circular patterns spinning with ominous intent. The word Kai est Einge burned across the screen, confirming that an unseen force had just activated a deadly selection process. The young man's expression shattered into raw fear and defiance. His jaw locked tight, eyes burning with the realization that he had become the target of something far beyond his control. Out of the blinding glare, a dark silhouette raised one finger in absolute authority. It was not a request. It was a command. And with it came the terrifying question of who truly held the power over life and death. The screen glows an unsettling blue, displaying one ominous word: Question. A circular interface pulses quietly, as if the device itself is preparing something forbidden. This is not just a notification. It is a trigger, and whatever it summons is about to change everything. Then, the silence shatters. Crimson splatters tear across the white void, violent, chaotic, and unmistakably fresh. The blood tells a story of sudden brutality, suggesting the one who activated the casting became the victim in an instant. The stakes have just turned lethal. Now the phone lies discarded on the ground, still glowing beside the blood. Its owner has vanished, leaving only this silent witness behind. If the casting already began, then the real horror might just be getting started. Who, or what, was summoned? And is anyone left to stop it? At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am a sorcerer," sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a letter. It was a declaration of power. With a deep breath, he resolved to face the truth. The sorcerer's identity would be revealed, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The sorcerer was planning to sacrifice her. With no time to waste, she grabbed a weapon and prepared to fight for her life. The woman's fury erupted as she confronted the intruder, her voice cutting through the silence with raw intensity. As the confrontation settled, a chilling realization dawned on her. The attacker was not alone, and the threat was far from over. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's face contorted in sheer terror as he read the words. "Don't come near me!" he screamed, his voice cracking with fear. The woman's face contorted in terror as she read the letter. The words, "I'm really good," echoed in her mind, a chilling promise of what was to come. Trapped and helpless, she pleaded for salvation. "Save me, please," she cried, but the man only laughed, revealing his true, monstrous nature. The man's face transformed into a grotesque mask of decay, a visual confirmation of the evil she had just read about. "You saw it, my face," he whispered, sealing her fate. With a heavy heart, she accepted her fate. "Sorry, but I can't do that," she said, knowing that her pleas had fallen on deaf ears. The man's victory was complete. Walking through the dark, empty streets, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The silence was too quiet, the shadows too deep. As she approached the old, abandoned building, a faint light flickered inside. It was as if the structure itself was calling out to her. With a deep breath, she pushed open the door. The air was thick with dust and history, but she knew she had to find out what lay within. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sorcerer's true identity was hidden in plain sight, and the protagonist was the only one who could stop him. With the truth in hand, the protagonist vowed to confront the sorcerer and break the curse that had haunted the city for centuries. The girl's eyes widened in horror as she read the letter. The words, "I'm coming for you," were scrawled in blood-red ink, sending a chill down her spine. She looked up, scanning the room for the source of the threat. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of her own breathing. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the doorway. It was the man from the photo, his face twisted into a grotesque smile. He was here. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's face twisted in horror as he read the words. The letter wasn't just a message. It was a threat. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words on the page were impossible to ignore. They spoke of a power that could reshape the world. With a newfound resolve, he stepped forward, ready to face the unknown. The journey had just begun. "Wait, so you're saying that the guy in the red robe saved you?" "Wow, what a hero." "Yes, that man, he appeared so suddenly and stared for a long time. Then he just disappeared. I fainted afterwards." At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's eyes widened as he read the words. A red robe? That detail was far too specific for a random letter. This wasn't just a coincidence. It was a message, and the detective knew exactly what it meant. The corpse was standing. This single, chilling fact shattered the illusion of a simple murder investigation. The forensic team, led by the sharp-eyed detective, now faced a supernatural anomaly that defied all known laws of physics and biology. As the detective pondered the impossible, a dark-haired figure emerged from the shadows. With a voice as cold as the grave, He declared that there was only one way to kill such a creature. The stage was set for a confrontation with a force beyond the natural world. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sorcerer's power was being suppressed by a spell of restriction. With this knowledge, the sorcerer vowed to break free from the shackles holding him back. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king using a forbidden spell. Restriction. A magic so dangerous, it's strictly controlled by the government. The protagonist knew he had to act fast. He grabbed the letter and rushed to the police station, determined to stop the assassination before it was too late. As he ran, he couldn't help but wonder, who was behind this plot? And how did they get their hands on such a powerful, restricted spell? The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man in the red robe was a rapist. This revelation instantly changed the tone of the conversation, turning a simple request into a matter of justice. With the identity of the rapist confirmed, the protagonist's resolve hardened. He was no longer just a bystander. He was now committed to stopping this dangerous individual. The final image of the red-robed figure standing in the darkness is a chilling reminder of the threat. The stage is set for a confrontation between the protagonist and this evil sorcerer. The girl's face paled as she read the letter. The words chopped into pieces echoed in her mind, sending a shiver down her spine. She looked around the empty alley, the silence broken only by her own footsteps. The thought of a murderer lurking nearby made her heart race as she turned to leave. She couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The letter's warning hung heavy in the air, making her question if she was truly alone. The letter begins with a standard greeting, but the tone quickly shifts. The writer reveals they've been observing the recipient for some time, sparking immediate curiosity about who this person is and what they know. The letter takes a dark turn, accusing the recipient of being a monster and a murderer. The writer claims to have evidence of the recipient's crimes, including the murder of a woman named Hai Jin. This accusation is the core of the letter's message. The writer expresses intense anger and a desire for revenge. They threaten to expose the recipient's crimes to the world and to the recipient's own family. The letter ends with a chilling warning that the recipient will be punished for their actions. The recipient, identified as Jae Hyun, is left in a state of confusion and shock. He wonders who the sender is and how they know about his past. The letter has successfully shaken him, leaving him to ponder the identity of his accuser. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I killed her," hit like a punch to the gut. The man who'd been saving people was now confessing to murder. The crowd erupted in fury.
He's just a killer!
They screamed, their trust shattered by the truth. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, one that could shake the very foundations of their society. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, leaving the reader stunned and desperate for answers. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king, signed by a mysterious R. The recipient's world was turned upside down. With the fate of the kingdom at stake, the recipient knew they had to act. They would find R and stop the assassination before it was too late. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. Enjoy the calm and comfort. For tomorrow, you will face the greatest challenge of your life. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: the city was under attack, and the sorcerer was the only one who could stop it. With a heavy heart, the sorcerer made a decision. He would face the threat head-on, even if it meant risking his own life. As he walked through the rain-soaked streets, the sorcerer couldn't shake the feeling of dread. The city was eerily quiet, as if waiting for the storm to break. The sorcerer paused to look at the city skyline. Despite the danger, there was a beauty to the place. He vowed to protect it, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: the magic he thought was his own was actually stolen. The true owner was coming for it. With a fierce resolve, he vowed to protect his city and his people, even if it meant facing the wrath of the original sorcerer. As the storm raged outside, he stood alone, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. The fate of the city hung in the balance. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the sorcerer's past, one that could destroy his reputation. Enraged by the accusation, the sorcerer vowed to find the sender and make them pay. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the room. With newfound resolve, the protagonist decided to confront the sorcerer directly, no matter the risk. The confrontation ended in a blaze of glory, with the protagonist emerging victorious against the dark forces. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words "I'm alive" hit her like a punch to the gut. Her dead brother was alive. Impossible. She had to find out the truth. She grabbed her coat and ran into the cold night, following the address on the envelope. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The city was built on the bones of a dead sorcerer. With this knowledge, the protagonist vowed to uncover the truth behind the city's cursed foundation. As the rain poured outside, the weight of the revelation settled in, marking the beginning of a dangerous journey. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's face twisted with rage as he read the final line. "Bastard," he snarled, crumpling the paper in his fist. The air crackles with tension as the group senses an intruder. The clank of metal echoes through the silence, signaling the arrival of a mysterious figure. A woman emerges from the shadows, her presence commanding yet enigmatic. The group watches her with a mix of caution and intrigue, wondering what her intentions are. The woman approaches with purpose, her heels clicking against the ground. The group braces for what comes next, knowing this encounter will change everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the city's past, one that the protagonist was never meant to know. With the truth in hand, the protagonist vowed to uncover the mystery behind the dead sorcerer, no matter the cost. The letter's contents were far from ordinary. A single sentence revealed a shocking truth that would change everything for the recipient. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the room. As the implications of the letter sank in, the atmosphere grew heavy with tension, and uncertainty. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear the sender knew about the secret experiment, and they were coming for him. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I'm the one who killed your brother," hit him like a punch to the gut. The room spun as he struggled to process the accusation. His hands trembled with rage as he read the rest of the letter. The writer claimed to have evidence, but the detective knew this was a trap. He slammed the door shut, cutting off the outside world. Now, he had to figure out who was behind this and why they were targeting him. With a deep breath, he sat down to analyze the letter. Every word was a clue, and he couldn't afford to miss a single detail. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a hidden world of magic, governed by 3 essential requirements: mana, filter, and dispenser. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The blue orb explained that mana isn't a substance, but a separate organism. It's invisible and untouchable, yet essential for all magic. As the city lights shimmered, the orb revealed that mana is the initial starting point of all magic. Without it, no spell could be cast. The blue mana particle enters the filter, where its genetic structure is rearranged to produce the desired red particles. The newly formed red mana particles are then absorbed into the dispenser, ready to be used for their specific purpose. This process demonstrates the fundamental operation of a mana filter and dispenser, allowing for the manipulation and storage of magical energy. The letter begins with a standard greeting, but the tone quickly shifts as the writer reveals a shocking secret. The writer claims to be a sorcerer who has discovered a way to bypass the fundamental laws of magic, a revelation that could shake the foundations of the magical world. The letter ends with a call to action, urging the recipient to join the writer in this dangerous, but potentially world-changing endeavor. The detective examines the crime scene, noting the mana level is 80 mempeep, which is average for Seoul. This suggests the mana hasn't changed, but the presence of the tape strips indicates a crime has occurred. The detective is puzzled. If the mana level is normal, what caused the crime? The lack of change in the mana environment implies the perpetrator may have used a method that doesn't affect the local mana, or the crime is unrelated to mana manipulation. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective explained that mana is confined to specific areas. If magic was used at the crime scene, the mana level should have dropped. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The restriction spell should have drained his mana to near zero, but the numbers on the screen told a different story. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. Since suspenseful. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. Shocked. I am the one who killed your parents. The words hit like a punch to the gut. The man who had been their savior was actually the murderer.
Hot angry, you're lying!
The protagonist's voice cracked with rage.
You saved us! You're a hero!
But the evidence was undeniable. Shin confused. Why? The question hung in the air. Why would you do this? Why pretend to be our friend? The truth was far more twisted than anyone could have imagined. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could destroy the entire city. With time running out, the detective knew he had to act fast before the sorcerer's plan came to fruition. As he read the final lines, a cold sweat broke out. The fate of the city now rested in his hands. The detective reads the letter, his brow furrowing as he struggles to grasp the message. The woman beside him offers a reassuring smile, suggesting that a clue will eventually reveal itself. Seeking a different perspective, the detective turns to the magic research major. Her eyes widen in surprise as she realizes he is actually asking for her help. The woman laughs softly, finding it amusing that the detective, who usually relies on his own intuition, is now requesting her assistance. She covers her mouth to stifle her laughter. The conversation takes a light-hearted turn as the two characters share a laugh over their differing perspectives on superiority. The moment is abruptly interrupted by a sharp ringtone, signaling an incoming message that immediately captures the protagonist's attention. Opening the message, the protagonist discovers a cryptic invitation to a secret meeting, setting the stage for the next phase of the investigation. The smart pen vibrates, signaling an incoming call from Detective Park. The protagonist hesitates, wondering if this is the right time to answer. With a deep breath, the protagonist swipes the screen to accept the call. The conversation that follows will likely reveal crucial information about the case. Detective Park, the man who's seen it all, is about to get a crash course in modern tech. His junior colleague, armed with a shiny new gadget, is ready to show him the future. With a smug grin, the junior detective unveils his smart pen. But instead of awe, he gets a barrage of insults. Did you take that out of a cave? Change it. There are much better products nowadays. The detective's patience is wearing thin. He's not interested in the latest tech trends. He just wants to get the job done. The junior detective's enthusiasm is met with a cold. Isn't anyone going to invent a shut-up spell? At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's face froze in shock as he read the words. The case he thought was closed was about to reopen in the most unexpected way. The man stands before a peculiar device, a letter in hand. The machine's design is unfamiliar, with a large screen and a rotating arm, suggesting it's not a simple mailbox. As he reads the letter, his expression shifts to one of disbelief and confusion. The message clearly contains information that contradicts his expectations, causing him to question the nature of the device in front of him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The doctor explains the machine's purpose, but the protagonist's attention is drawn to its unusual appearance. He decides to take a picture and send it to someone for a second opinion. The letter begins with a standard greeting, but the tone shifts abruptly when the sender reveals they've attached a picture file. The recipient's curiosity is piqued as they wonder what this image could be. The image is revealed to be a photograph of a young girl, but the context is chilling. The sender claims this is the recipient's daughter, who was kidnapped and killed by the recipient's own father. The shock is palpable as the recipient realizes the gravity of the accusation. The letter concludes with a demand for justice. The sender insists that the recipient must avenge their daughter's death by killing their father. The recipient, now filled with rage and a sense of duty, vows to take action against the man who destroyed their family. The letter appeared harmless at first, but one line revealed a shocking secret that changed everything. The police chief was furious. He couldn't believe someone would carry such a dangerous device. He ordered the team to return immediately. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The guards approached with caution, their eyes scanning the area for any sign of the intruder. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, wielding a weapon that glowed with an eerie, otherworldly light. The culprit is roaming the night road, carrying out justice, while holding that thing.
Ha ha!
Aren't you gonna go away?
Wow! Nice picture over there!
The mysterious figure stands tall, a red sash around their waist, as the couple in the room exchange glances. What could this image represent? The letter appeared innocuous at first, but a single sentence within it revealed a shocking truth that would change everything. The trio of men, dressed in sharp suits, stood with an air of authority. They were confident that the photograph they held would be a success, unaware of the dark secrets it contained. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, one that could shake the very foundation of their world. As the implications of the letter sunk in, the sorcerer's expression shifted from confusion to sheer horror. The game had just changed. The detective's colleagues burst into laughter, finding his seriousness about the restriction spell case hilariously misplaced. Unfazed, he insists it's no joke, but the room is filled with mocking chuckles. With a smirk, the detective reveals his plan to use the restriction spell to trap the alien. He confidently assures his skeptical colleagues that if it fails, he'll hand the case over to them. As the detective strides out of the room, he instructs his team to prepare for the operation. The stage is set for a high-stakes confrontation with the alien, where the restriction spell will be put to the test. The agents are clearly enjoying the show, but their boss isn't having it. He's got a point. This is a magic case, not a movie marathon. Sunbinim steps in with authority, shutting down the side conversation. He knows this isn't just entertainment. It's a serious investigation. Despite the initial dismissal, Sunbenim senses something off. The case may not be officially magic-related, but he's not letting his guard down. There's more to this than meets the eye. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The client revealed a shocking secret. The victim was a sorcerer. This wasn't just a murder case. It was a battle against the supernatural. With the stakes higher than ever, the detective vowed to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's face contorted with rage. He had just been threatened by the most dangerous man in the city. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. The sorcerer's power was far greater than anyone had imagined, and the consequences of his actions were about to unfold. The guards laughed, dismissing the letter as a joke. But their arrogance would soon be their downfall. The sorcerer's fury erupted. With a single, crushing grip, he shattered the guard's arm, proving that his power was very much alive. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, one that could shatter the fragile peace of the city. With this new knowledge, the protagonist must decide whether to confront the sorcerer or risk the city's destruction. She stands alone, a woman who doesn't think. Her gaze is distant, her expression blank, as if she's lost in a world of her own making. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words were unmistakable. "I am the one who killed your parents." The room fell silent as the weight of the accusation settled in. Fury boiled over. "You killed my parents," he roared, slamming his fist into the wall.
I'll make you pay for that!
At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words famous speech of Al Gore's abolition caught his eye. He paused, reading the lines that defined humanity and personhood. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. "Detective Kim, I knew you'd be here. I heard the 3SS picked a fight with you again. I don't know what's wrong with them, but this time it's different. I'm not backing down. I'm going to find out what's really happening here." Detective Kim stands in the bathroom, his expression a mix of disgust and determination. He's clearly not impressed with the current state of affairs. As he looks around, his eyes narrow. There's something off about this place, and he's determined to figure out what it is. Suddenly, it clicks. The pieces of the puzzle fall into place, and Detective Kim knows exactly what he's dealing with. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the detective's mind. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything.
That red-robed bastard!
"We're gonna get him for sure." The detective's eyes narrowed. He knew this was no ordinary case. As he stared at the letter, a plan began to form. The hunt for the sorcerer was on. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the murderer," hit him like a punch to the gut. The man's face contorted in disbelief, his eyes widening as the reality of the message sank in. Furious and betrayed, he crumpled the letter in his fist. "How could you?" he roared, his voice echoing with the pain of a broken trust. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, sending shockwaves through the protagonist's mind. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sender was a sorcerer, and the recipient was his target. With the truth exposed, the hero knew he had to act fast to prevent the sorcerer's plan from coming to fruition. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words "Ice House" echoed in his mind, triggering a vision of a frozen, lifeless world. The man's face contorted with terror as he realized the true nature of the threat. Despite the fear, he steeled himself, knowing he had to confront this danger head on. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sorcerer's power was not his own. It had been stolen from an ancient, forgotten deity. With this new knowledge, the sorcerer knew he had to act. He couldn't let the deity's power remain in the wrong hands. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could destroy the entire city. The protagonist's world was turned upside down in an instant. With the truth now exposed, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the city rested on their shoulders, and they were ready to fight. The man's face contorts in sheer terror as he reads the letter, his eyes widening and mouth agape. The words on the page have clearly revealed something horrifying, causing him to shake uncontrollably. The stench of urine filled the air as the knight's pants were soaked, a humiliating sign of his loss of control. A few days later, the second incident occurred. The victims were 3 high school students who were beating up a homeless man for fun. The hooded figure appeared, and the students were never seen again. The police found the crime scene, but there was no evidence of the killer. The only clue was a letter left behind, addressed to the detective. It read, "I am the city of dead sorcerer. I hunt those who prey on the weak. This is only the beginning." At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a forbidden spell had been used, the same one that killed his brother. The sorcerer's eyes narrowed with fury. The 3 victims were successfully defrosted, emerging from their icy confinement with no major complications. This marked a critical step in their recovery, as the freezing process had been intended to preserve them until help arrived. The situation revealed a complex moral landscape. The hero had eliminated the most dangerous threat, the perverted body disassembling killer, but had chosen to spare the younger offenders who had only used violence. This decision highlighted the nuanced nature of justice in this world. Ultimately, the hero's actions were driven by a sense of duty and righteousness. By punishing the evildoers and protecting the innocent, he reaffirmed his commitment to upholding the law and ensuring the safety of the community. The detective reads the letter, his expression shifting from curiosity to alarm. The message reveals that the recent murders were not random acts of violence, but a calculated attempt to draw public attention to a larger, more sinister plot. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The culprit became a hero overnight. The very person who caused the disaster was now hailed as a savior.
Look closer, more carefully, yo. It has to be one of them.
The real villain is hiding in plain sight. The protagonist examines 2 red jackets, the 2025 Nai Red Dragon and the 2023 Rickest Red Mamba, but neither appears to be the specific item he is searching for. At first, the letter looked ordinary, But one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective stared at the screen, his mind racing. The red robes were back, and this time, they were using forbidden magic. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The streets were filled with fashion robes, but something about this one stood out. The letter revealed a secret that could shake the entire city. With the truth in hand, the protagonist knew what had to be done. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The public called him Crimson Robe. I called him the Red Cape Chacha. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. Detective Kim's response was classic him. A mix of sarcasm and wisdom. Go watch some old anime, really. It's like he's saying, "You're overthinking this." The answer is simpler than you think. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sender was a necromancer, and the recipient was marked for death. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The police chief's question hung in the air, the weight of the city's safety resting on the answer. The detective slammed the file shut, his eyes widening in disbelief at the revelation. With a sharp twitch of his eye, he made a decision. This case was about to get personal. The city skyline loomed in the background, a reminder of the lives at stake. The hunt for the sorcerer begins. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The report revealed a shocking truth. The killer was none other than Park Yong-suk, the second-class strength user. The detective's fury exploded as he realized this was the fifth failed attempt to capture the murderer. He demanded immediate action. With a steely resolve, the detective ordered his team to do whatever it takes to apprehend Park Yong-suk, no matter the cost. The letter appeared harmless at first, but one sentence revealed a shocking truth that changed everything. The detective's anger flared as he realized the sender was mocking him, claiming to have committed the impossible crime. Intrigued by the challenge, the detective wondered if the sender was bluffing, or if this was the key to solving the case. Detective Kim sits in his office, staring at a letter that has just arrived. The envelope is plain, but the contents are about to shake him to his core. As he reads the letter, his eyes widen in disbelief. The message reveals a plot to assassinate a high-ranking government official. And the suspect is none other than the infamous Crimson Bastard. Kim slams the letter down on his desk. He is furious. The Crimson Bastard, once hailed as a hero, has now crossed a line by targeting a government official. This is not just a crime, it's an act of treason. Kim stands up, his mind made up. He will not let this happen. He must find the Crimson Bastard before he can carry out this assassination. The hunt is on. Damn, this is annoying. Let's just go home already. I'm not leaving until I find out what's going on here. There's something off about this place. I need to investigate further. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's eyes widened as he read the words. This wasn't just a routine case. It was a trap. With a steely resolve, he grabbed his coat and headed out. He knew exactly where to go next. As he approached the building, a chill ran down his spine. The city of dead Sorcerer was waiting for him. The letter appeared innocuous at first, but a single line revealed a shocking truth that would change everything. The revelation hit like a ton of bricks. The man's world was turned upside down by the contents of that simple letter. With a newfound sense of purpose, he turned to his computer, ready to confront the reality laid out before him. The search bar awaits, ready to reveal the truth behind the mysterious red cape chacha. But what will the internet say? The results are underwhelming. A simple image of a red cape. No context, no history, no explanation. The mystery deepens. Unsatisfied with the generic image, the searcher narrows the query. Red? Perhaps this will yield more specific information about the cape's origin. A new term appears. Crimson robe. This could be the key to identifying the character or the specific type of garment worn by the sorcerer. The final search is launched. The fate of the investigation hangs in the balance. As the system processes the query, will the truth be revealed? At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sender was the notorious serial killer, Crimson Robe. He had been watching them all along. The letter begins with a simple greeting, but the tone quickly shifts to something more sinister. The writer, identifying himself as Crimson Robe, reveals that he has been observing the recipient for some time. Crimson Robe laughs at the recipient's current understanding of magic, describing it as a pitch-black search through endless darkness. He implies that the recipient is completely lost and unaware of the true nature of the magical world. The recipient is left with many unanswered questions. He wonders about the identity of the dispenser, how Crimson Robe acquired banned spells, and why he is wearing such conspicuous red clothing. The surveillance system appears to be compromised, adding to the mystery. Despite the confusion, the recipient is determined to find answers. He vows to track down Crimson Robe and uncover the truth behind this cryptic message, setting the stage for a dangerous investigation. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The accusation was clear: the sorcerer was suspected of committing crimes using banned spells. The weight of this revelation hung heavy in the air. With a fierce determination, the sorcerer rose from his seat. He would not let this accusation stand. He was ready to fight for his innocence. With a decisive stomp, the protagonist activates the mechanism, revealing the entrance to the Public Magic Science Research Center. The air crackles with anticipation as the door swings open, inviting him into a world of arcane knowledge. Stepping through the threshold, he is greeted by a vibrant, futuristic lobby. The walls are adorned with glowing runes and holographic displays.
Proclaiming him a GAISLOURS!
This is where his journey to master the arcane arts truly begins. The interface displays a list of options: Introduction to the Research Center, Magic Browser, Events and Shows, and Chronology. The cursor hovers over the Magic Browser, indicating the user's selection. In the Magic Browser, the user inputs a search query for Spell of Restriction, Spell of Freezing field. The system responds with a series of talk sounds, suggesting it is processing the request. The search completes, and the user is presented with the results for the specified spells. The interface provides a clear path for the user to proceed with their investigation. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sender was a magic user, and they had been caught. The sender explained that they were being hunted by the authorities for using forbidden spells. Desperate to avoid capture, the sender begged the recipient to help them escape. The letter's contents reveal a shocking truth. The sender is not just any sorcerer, but a member of the privileged class with access to powerful spells. This raises immediate questions about their motives and the nature of their justice. The protagonist struggles to reconcile the image of a high-class individual with the actions described. The idea that ambition for power and a sense of justice can coexist in the same person seems contradictory and unrealistic to him. As he contemplates the letter, the protagonist realizes that the concept of a just, powerful sorcerer from the upper echelons of society is a fantasy often seen in movies and anime, but rarely in reality. The existence of such a person would be a significant anomaly. Despite the skepticism, the protagonist decides to investigate further. The letter has sparked a fire within him to uncover the truth about this mysterious sorcerer and the potential threat they pose to the balance of power. Wait, justice. A sense of justice. Since when have I been infected with the Crimson Syndrome?
Haha! I must be crazy!
A sense of justice. But no, this is real. The letter is genuine. I need to find out what's going on. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer's daughter was alive and trapped in the city. With renewed purpose, the hero vowed to find her and break the curse. The discovery of the daughter's existence offered a glimmer of hope in the dark city. The letter looked like any other fan mail, but one line caught his eye. I'm the one who made the Crimson video. The girls in the shop were buzzing about the video, which had racked up 100 million views. They even recognized the crimson robe from the footage. The dispenser for the crimson robe looked more like a laser gun than a clothing rack, which made the girls laugh. They also couldn't help but comment on the model's height and good looks. As he left the shop, he pondered the letter. The writer claimed to be the creator of the viral video, but who was he really? And what did he want? The letter appeared harmless at first, but one sentence revealed a shocking truth that changed everything. Furious at the deception, the protagonist confronts the man who created the fake video, demanding answers. With the truth exposed, the protagonist prepares to take action, scanning the area for any signs of the missing person. The letter appeared innocuous at first, but a single line revealed a shocking truth that would change everything. The customer, clearly intrigued, asks the part-time worker about the store's new body scan system. The worker explains it's been in use for 2 days, making the process much smoother. As the customer leaves, he reflects on the efficiency of the system. Even convenience stores are adopting this technology, he notes, suggesting a broader trend in the industry. However, something about the part-time worker catches his eye. He turns back, his expression shifting to one of suspicion. There's something off about her appearance. He realizes what it is. The worker looks suspiciously like a girl. This is unexpected for a role typically filled by men, and it piques his curiosity about her identity and the store's hiring practices. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king, and the sender was none other than the crown prince's own brother. With the fate of the kingdom at stake, the prince knew he had to act fast. He couldn't let his brother succeed. He gathered his most trusted allies and set a trap to catch the traitor red-handed. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a shocking truth. The sender was not just a stranger, but a powerful sorcerer with a dangerous agenda. With the threat now clear, the protagonist knew they had to act fast. The fate of the city depended on their next move. Armed with this new knowledge, the protagonist set out to confront the sorcerer, determined to stop them before it was too late. A part-time job of 5,001 per hour. This is my current position. An amazingly boring job. There's nothing I do other than just standing here. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. I'm the only one who can save the world. If I fail, humanity will be destroyed. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The customer was a wanted criminal, and the shop was unknowingly harboring him. With the truth exposed, the shopkeeper knew he had to act. He couldn't let this criminal escape justice. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. A place that seems to be isolated from the outside. The little space called the counter. That is my official position. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sender was not just a random person, but a direct descendant of the legendary Sorcerer himself. This connection to the past changed everything for the protagonist. With the truth in hand, the protagonist's resolve hardened. He knew he had to act, to confront the legacy of the Sorcerer and the dangers that came with it. As he stood before the ancient artifact, the weight of the Sorcerer's power and the responsibility it entailed settled on him. The journey ahead would be perilous, but he was ready to face it. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden threat. Someone was trying to trespass into this space. The stakes were suddenly much higher. With the danger now clear, the protagonist knew they had to act. The time for complacency was over. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the Sorcerer's past, one that could shake the very foundation of their world. As the implications of the letter sunk in, the Sorcerer's expression shifted from confusion to sheer terror. The game had just changed. With the new information in hand, the Sorcerer knew they had to act fast. The fate of the city now rested on their shoulders. The man stares at the letter, his expression shifting from curiosity to deep thought. He seems to be weighing the implications of what he's just read. With a firm resolve, he lifts his phone, ready to take action. The message has clearly prompted a decision. As he scrolls through his contacts, a sense of urgency and secrecy hangs in the air. Who is he reaching out to? And what does this letter reveal? At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a shocking truth. The sender was none other than the infamous serial killer, Crimson Robe. The letter ended with a puzzling question: am I ugly? This left the recipient deeply unsettled, wondering what the killer's true intentions were. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The man she loved was actually a powerful sorcerer, and she was the key to his resurrection. With newfound resolve, she decided to confront him. She couldn't let him use her for his own dark purposes. As she approached the sorcerer's lair, the weight of the decision settled in. This was her moment to fight back. Yoon-sung Ho's eyes widened in disbelief as he read the letter. The words, "I'm working on another man," echoed in his mind, shattering his expectations and igniting a fire of jealousy. Furious, Sung Ho stormed out of the room, his fists clenched. He couldn't believe she would betray him like this. The thought of her with someone else fueled his rage. But Sung Ho wasn't about to give up. He vowed to win her back, no matter what it took. With a steely resolve, he set out to prove that he was the only man for her. The letter, seemingly ordinary at first, contained a single sentence that shattered his world. "I'm pregnant." His eyes widened in disbelief as the words sank in. This was not just a breakup, it was a life-changing revelation. The weight of the news pressed down on him. He had to decide, would he step up and face the consequences, or would he walk away? The letter's contents were far from ordinary. A single sentence revealed a shocking truth that would change everything. With the truth laid bare, the protagonist's expression shifted from confusion to intense anxiety. The implications of this revelation were too heavy to ignore. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer's daughter was alive and trapped in the tower. This discovery ignited a fierce determination in the knight to rescue her. With newfound purpose, the knight vowed to storm the tower and free the captive girl, no matter the cost. As the knight prepared for battle, he was confronted by a mysterious figure who warned him of the dangers that lay ahead. The knight's anger flared as he realized the figure was an enemy spy. A quick and brutal fight ensued, ending with the spy being knocked unconscious. The man's face contorted with rage as he read the letter. "Are you crazy, bitch?" he snarled, his voice dripping with venom. "Breaking up is breaking up, but you should pay." With a fierce determination, he stormed out of the room, ready to confront the woman who had wronged him. The stakes were high, and he was not going to let this go unpunished. The girl's anger explodes as she confronts the man, accusing him of cheating and physical abuse. The tension is palpable as she demands an explanation for his betrayal. The man, visibly shaken, attempts to justify his actions, claiming he was merely protecting himself. However, his words only serve to further enrage the girl, who refuses to accept his excuses. A bystander, observing the heated exchange, wonders if the couple are students. The man, overhearing this, becomes defensive and warns the observer to mind their own business. The situation escalates as the man issues a chilling threat, warning the observer that he will be beaten if he doesn't leave immediately. The dark tone of the scene suggests a dangerous undercurrent to the conflict. The red-haired man sneered at the crowd, his eyes scanning the faces of the onlookers. "Losers," he muttered under his breath, a single word that spoke volumes about his disdain for the people around him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The captain's face twisted with rage as he read the words. "You're a disgrace to the team," he shouted, slamming the letter down. The young player slumped in his chair, tears welling up. He had failed to live up to the expectations of his idol. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The girl he had just beaten was actually his sister. This revelation left him stunned and filled with regret. Despite the gravity of the situation, he remained resolute. He knew he had to face the consequences of his actions and make things right. The letter, seemingly mundane at first, reveals a critical detail that shifts the entire narrative. With the truth now in hand, the protagonist sets off on a mission to confront the source of the threat. The confrontation is fraught with danger as the protagonist faces off against a formidable adversary. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man in the white coat smiled, clearly expecting this reaction. "See you tomorrow, Sue Young." At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. A USB drive appeared on the table, labeled USB 4.0. The voice in his head promised fun, but the protagonist knew this was no game. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: the sorcerer had returned, and he was coming for them. Huff, huff. The man's breathing is labored as he reads the letter, his eyes scanning the words with growing concern. The message seems to be revealing something significant, but the full impact hasn't hit him yet. His face contorts in disbelief and anger. "You bastard!" he shouts, slamming the letter down. The revelation has struck him hard, igniting a fierce reaction that suggests the letter contained a betrayal or a grave accusation. With a newfound resolve, the man storms out of the room. He's not going to take this lying down. The letter has set him on a path to confront the person responsible. His mind racing with plans for retribution, he bursts into a dark, smoky room, his eyes locking onto a figure in the shadows. "You!" he yells, pointing accusingly. The confrontation is immediate and intense, the air thick with hostility as the two men face off. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: crush him, the target. Yoonsei Ung-ho, the sender, a name that would haunt him forever. Ung-ho didn't back down. He confronted the sender head-on, demanding answers. But the response was brutal. Despite the beating, Yoonsei Ung-ho refused to give up. He picked up the letter, his eyes burning with resolve. This was just the beginning of his fight. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I'm being hunted," sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a letter. It was a cry for help. With a fierce resolve, he grabbed his gear and rushed out the door. He had to find her before it was too late. As he stepped into the alley, he scanned the area, ready for anything. He was prepared to face whatever danger awaited him. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The USB drive was labeled 4.0, a standard model. But the message implied it was anything but ordinary. The screen lit up with a complex, encrypted interface. This wasn't just a data transfer. It was a gateway to something far more dangerous. The file name appeared: Dead Sorcerer. The implications were terrifying. This device contained the secrets of a forbidden, ancient power. In a dimly lit room, a young man sits at his desk, his attention captured by a glowing computer screen. The atmosphere is quiet, with only the soft hum of the machine breaking the silence. On the screen, a video file titled XX High School Second Year Han Soo, Young. AVI is highlighted. The title suggests a personal recording, but the context implies something more sinister or secretive. As the video begins to play, the man's expression shifts from curiosity to sheer terror. The image on the screen reveals a distorted, nightmarish face with wide, bloodshot eyes and a gaping mouth, causing him to recoil in horror. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The video revealed a horrifying truth. The boy had been murdered. The killer was watching, waiting for the next victim. With the killer's identity exposed, the protagonist vowed to stop him before he could strike again. The man's face contorted with rage as he read the letter, his eyes narrowing into slits. The words had struck a nerve, igniting a firestorm of fury within him. With a sharp, decisive motion, he tore the letter into shreds. The pieces fluttered to the ground, but his mind was already racing, plotting his next move against the sender. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the room. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was simple but shocking. "I'm alive." It was signed by someone who had been declared dead years ago. The recipients stared at the letter, disbelief washing over them. How could this be possible? Who was this person claiming to be alive? With a newfound sense of purpose, they decided to investigate. This mystery needed to be solved, no matter the cost. The man stands outside the motel, his expression reflecting the monotony of his daily routine. The world around him seems dull and uninspiring. Suddenly, a sharp, high-pitched scream pierces the air, followed by a distinct slapping sound. The man's eyes widen in disbelief as he turns to see what has caused this disturbance. Intrigued by the noise, the man steps into the motel lobby. His gaze is fixed on the source of the commotion, trying to piece together what has just happened. With a resolve in his eyes, the man approaches the scene. He is no longer a passive observer. He is ready to confront the situation and find out the truth. The letter revealed a shocking secret. The woman he loved was actually a man. This revelation shattered his world, leaving him in disbelief. Enraged by the deception, he confronted the individual responsible. The confrontation was heated, with accusations flying and emotions running high. As the dust settled, he was left with a deep sense of loss and betrayal. The relationship he thought he had was built on a lie, and the pain of that realization was overwhelming. Despite the heartbreak, he decided to move forward. He would not let this betrayal define him, but instead use it as a catalyst for change and self-discovery. The convenience store Hong, a familiar face in the neighborhood, approaches the group with a friendly smile. He's clearly interested in the newcomer. Noting his impressive stature and potential fighting skills, a playful exchange ensues as the Hyung compares his own height to the protagonist's. The protagonist, standing at a towering 182 cm, towers over the Hyung, who laughs off the difference with a joke. The conversation takes a more serious turn as the Hyung inquires about the protagonist's intentions. The protagonist reveals that he is here to help, which prompts the Hyung to share a crucial piece of information about the local gang's activities. With the information in hand, the protagonist's resolve is clear. He is ready to take on the challenge, and the Hyung, recognizing his determination, offers his full support for the mission ahead. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could destroy the entire city. With time running out, the hero knew he had to act fast. The fate of the world depended on it. As he stepped into the darkness, he felt a surge of power. He was ready to face whatever came next. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer was not dead. He was alive and had been manipulating events from the shadows. Enraged by the betrayal, the protagonist confronted the sorcerer, demanding to know why he had been lied to. The sorcerer, unfazed by the confrontation, smirked. He explained that he had faked his death to protect himself, and that the protagonist was merely a pawn in his game. Refusing to be a pawn, the protagonist vowed to expose the sorcerer's deception and bring him to justice, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. If the video is spread, there will be consequences. The sender knows exactly who they're talking to. The video file is labeled with a specific name and school year. It's a direct threat to an individual, not a general warning. The recipient, Yoon Sung Ho, is not backing down. He's ready to face whatever comes next, even if it means confronting the person behind the threat. The boy's eyes widened in disbelief as he read the letter. The words on the page were not what he expected. His face contorted into a scowl, and he slammed the letter down on the table. The message had clearly angered him. With a resolute look, he picked up the letter and walked away, clearly planning his next move. As he left, a small, glowing object fell from his pocket and landed on the floor, its purpose unknown. The confrontation reaches a boiling point as the red-haired man, visibly enraged, shouts at the brunette woman. He accuses her of being a liar and a manipulator, demanding she never speak to him again. The woman, though shaken, stands her ground, insisting she doesn't want to see him either. With a final, defiant glare, the red-haired man storms off, leaving the woman alone in the street. She watches him go, her expression a mix of anger and resolve, clearly not backing down from the fight. The red-haired man's face contorted with rage as he spotted the thief. "Hey!" he shouted, his voice echoing through the alley. The thief, a slender figure in a brown coat, was already sprinting away, clutching the stolen USB drive. The chase was on. The red-haired man pursued the thief with relentless determination, his heavy boots pounding against the pavement. The thief, desperate to escape, darted between buildings, trying to lose his pursuer. As the thief rounded a corner, He glanced back, his eyes locking onto the red-haired man's. The pursuer's expression was one of cold, unyielding resolve. The thief knew he couldn't outrun him forever. Finally, the red-haired man caught up to the thief. With a swift, powerful move, he grabbed the thief's arm and forced him to the ground. The stolen USB drive, labeled USB 4.0, was recovered. The thief was apprehended, and the red-haired man's mission was complete. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the city's past, one that could shake the very foundations of their society. With the truth in hand, the protagonist vowed to uncover the conspiracy, even if it meant facing the city's most powerful forces. As the night fell, the city's dark underbelly stirred, sensing that a new threat to their control had emerged. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. The USB drive contained the key to unlocking the city's secrets. But who sent it? And what did they want? With a sense of purpose, the protagonist inserted the USB drive into his computer. The fate of the city now rested on what he would discover. The data transfer was complete. The secrets of the dead sorcerer were now in his hands, ready to be revealed. The message reveals a video of a stubborn high school girl who says no but does everything. The sender laughs, knowing her personal information, but choosing not to reveal it. The message reveals a video of a stubborn high school girl who says no but does everything. The sender laughs, knowing her personal information, but choosing not to reveal it. The sender confirms the video is complete and ready to be shared, ending with a final laugh. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the city's past, one that could shake the foundations of everything they knew. With this new knowledge, the team knew they had to act fast. The fate of the city depended on their next move. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the city's past, linking the current crisis to a long-forgotten tragedy. With the truth now in hand, the hero knew they had to act fast. The fate of the city depended on it. Detective Kim stands tall, his gaze locked on the massive opponent before him. Despite the size difference, he exudes a quiet confidence, knowing that in judo, skill trumps brute force. The larger fighter, clearly overestimating his advantage, taunts Detective Kim about their weight classes. Kim responds with a smirk, reminding him that judo is about technique, not just muscle. As the match begins, Detective Kim's focus sharpens. He's ready to prove that the gorilla bastard is in for a rude awakening, demonstrating the true power of a skilled judoka. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer's daughter was alive and imprisoned in the city. This changed everything for the protagonist. Fueled by this new information, the protagonist vowed to rescue the daughter. He knew the city was dangerous, but he couldn't abandon her. With a clear goal in mind, the protagonist prepared for the mission. He was ready to face the city's dangers, to save the sorcerer's daughter. The letter's contents were a shock to the system. It revealed a truth so dark, it threatened to unravel everything he thought he knew. Overwhelmed by the revelation, he collapsed to the ground. The weight of the truth was too much to bear, leaving him in a state of despair. The two men stare each other down, their eyes locked in a silent battle of wills. The tension in the room is palpable, as if the air itself is holding its breath. One of the men breaks the silence, his voice low and probing. "Is it 2000 now?" he asks, glancing at the clock. The other man responds with a simple, "It's 1900, but the exchange feels like more than just a time check." The man who asked the time collapses onto the floor, his energy completely drained. He lies there, panting and sweating, as the other man looks on with a mix of concern and calculation. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the detective's past, one that could jeopardize the entire investigation. With the secret now exposed, the detective must decide whether to confront the truth or continue the mission, knowing the stakes are higher than ever. A high school girl committed suicide 4 days ago. The reason? A video of her sexual life was spread over the internet. Miss G.A., we're doing the Cha-Cha case nowadays. Cha-Cha. Listen to the end. The reason is because a video of her sexual life was spread over the internet. A high school girl committed suicide 4 days ago. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The male student who spread the video was an FC, a violent thug known as an ill jinn. This revelation sent a chill down the detective's spine, recalling dark memories of past encounters with such criminals. As the detective read further, he realized the gravity of the situation. The victim, a young girl, had been targeted by a dangerous individual. The detective's expression hardened, determined to bring justice to this case. With the identity of the perpetrator confirmed, the detective sprang into action. He knew he had to find this ill jinn before he could cause any more harm. The hunt for the truth had just begun. The teacher's face contorts with frustration as he recounts the failed attempts to reach the student. We tried calling, but neither his cell nor house phone would pick up. So I, with my manager, went to the student's house. The manager's eyes widen in horror as he reads the letter. This can't be real. The student is dead. He committed suicide. This is a nightmare. The teacher, visibly shaken, pleads with the manager. We have to do something. We can't just let this happen. We need to find out what drove him to this. The manager, though still reeling from the news, nods in agreement. You're right. We need to investigate. We owe it to the student and his family to find out the truth. The letter's contents were devastating. It revealed that the sorcerer's wife had been murdered, and the killer was none other than his own apprentice. Consumed by rage, the sorcerer vowed to hunt down the traitor. He would stop at nothing to avenge his wife's death. With a heavy heart, but a clear purpose, the sorcerer set out on his quest for vengeance. The fate of the apprentice was sealed. The letter appeared innocuous at first, but a single line revealed a shocking truth that would change everything. The victim's head was reportedly smashed into a 3.7-meter high ceiling. This seemingly impossible detail suggests the presence of a supernatural force or a deliberate attempt to mislead. The letter revealed 2 spells: redemption and reverse gravity. While the first was acceptable, the second was an S-class danger spell capable of mass destruction. Shocking the recipient. The recipient expressed concern over the reverse gravity spell, fearing the potential for widespread devastation if the area and gravity settings were too large. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The victim was murdered by a sorcerer who erased all traces of mana from the scene. With the evidence destroyed, the detective knew he was up against a powerful enemy. He had to find the sorcerer before they struck again. The case took a dark turn. The detective was now hunting a killer who could manipulate reality itself, and the city was none the wiser. At first, the letter looked ordinary, But one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. Its crimson robe. The very name sent a chill down his spine, signaling a threat far beyond his imagination. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer's daughter was alive and had been kidnapped. This wasn't just a letter. It was a call to action. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The victim's head was smashed into a 3.7-meter high ceiling, causing instant death with a ruptured skull. The detective paused, absorbing the gravity of the situation. This wasn't just a murder, it was a brutal, calculated act of violence, with a newfound sense of urgency. The detective vowed to track down the killer and bring them to justice, no matter the cost. The letter reveals two spells, redemption and reverse gravity. While redemption is acceptable, reverse gravity is an S-class danger spell capable of mass destruction, shocking the recipient. The recipient, visibly shaken, questions the mana level of the scene, fearing the destructive potential of the reverse gravity spell. Despite the risk, the recipient decides to proceed with the plan, accepting the challenge posed by the powerful spells. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The used mana in the crime scene is Zero. This is impossible. A sorcerer's attack must leave a trace. I need to see this for myself. I'm heading to the crime scene immediately. The scene is completely clean. No mana residue, no signs of a struggle. It's like the attack never happened. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, Crimson Robe, sent a chill down his spine. It was the name of a notorious assassin guild, and now they were targeting him. He couldn't let this threat go unanswered. With a steely resolve, he decided to confront the Crimson Robe head on. Others he walked away. He knew the danger was real, but he was ready. The Crimson Robe had made a mistake by underestimating him. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sorcerer was alive and had been manipulating events from the shadows. With the truth exposed, the team knew they had to act fast to stop the sorcerer before he could strike again. As they prepared for the confrontation, The weight of the sorcerer's power hung over them, making every decision critical. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The envelope exploded with a burst of red energy, revealing a horrifying message. The sorcerer read the message, his expression hardening into resolve. He knew what he had to do. The sorcerer's eyes blazed with fury. "I will not let this stand," he vowed, preparing for battle. With a final look of determination, the sorcerer stepped forward, ready to confront the threat. The stage was set for a confrontation. The sorcerer stood alone against the darkness, his fate hanging in the balance. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sender was none other than the legendary Crimson Robe, the very sorcerer who had destroyed the city. This wasn't just a threat. It was a declaration of intent to finish what he had started. With the identity of the enemy confirmed, the protagonist's resolve hardened. He knew that facing Crimson Robe would be the ultimate test of his strength and the key to saving what remained of the city. The scene shifted to a desolate, abandoned building where the protagonist encountered a strange, inverted gravity field. The floor tiles were floating upwards, indicating a powerful, unnatural force at work. As he explored the anomaly, the protagonist realized that this reverse gravity was far too strong to be a natural phenomenon or a simple trick. It bore the hallmarks of a specific, high-level sorcery technique. The discovery of the gravity field confirmed his suspicions. This was the work of Crimson Robe, a signature move used to trap or manipulate opponents. The sorcerer was clearly preparing for their inevitable confrontation. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's eyes widened as he read the message. It wasn't just a threat. It was a direct challenge to his sanity. The letter's final line revealed a horrifying truth. The sender had murdered the recipient's family. The shock was immediate and overwhelming. Consumed by rage, the protagonist vowed to hunt down the killer. The stakes were now personal, and the quest for vengeance had begun. With a clear target in mind, the protagonist set out to track the murderer. The journey would be dangerous, but the drive for justice was unyielding. As the story progresses, the protagonist must navigate a web of deceit and danger to find the truth. The path ahead is uncertain, but the resolve is unbreakable. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The victim was underage, a child. This was no ordinary murder. The crime scene was drenched in blood, far more violent than the usual elegant killings. The killer had snapped. If this was really the work of the Crimson Robe, why the sudden rage? What had changed? The detective knew he had to find out. The safety of the city depended on it. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words Crimson Robe sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a suicide note. It was a warning. With the letter in hand, he knew he had to act. The truth about Han Su, Young's death, was buried, and he was the only one who could dig it up. As he read the final lines, his anger grew. Someone had manipulated her, and they were still out there. He wouldn't let them get away with it. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was chilling. "I'm watching you. You're next." It was a direct threat from the killer. Detective Park knew he had to act fast. He immediately ordered his team to check out Han Su, Young's personal life. Meanwhile, Detective Kim was reviewing the CCTV footage from the day of the crime. He was looking for any clues that might identify the killer. As he watched the main hall footage, he noticed a strange noise and a brief distortion in the video. It was like a glitch, but it only lasted a couple of seconds. This anomaly happened exactly 1 hour before the estimated crime time. It was a tiny detail, but it could be the key to unlocking the mystery. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's face twisted with rage. "Crimson Robe, you bastard," he snarled, clenching his fist. With a steely gaze, he vowed to investigate. The owner's worry about the house price falling only fueled his resolve. Others he walked away. The question lingered. Was this the work of the infamous murderer? The mystery had just begun. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. With a heavy heart, he made the decision to leave. The fate of the world now rested on his shoulders. As he walked away, his mind raced. The Crimson Robe had crossed a line, and he would not let it go unpunished. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king, signed by the notorious Crimson Robe. The detective's blood ran cold. With the threat confirmed, the detective sprang into action, racing against time to prevent the assassination. The detective arrived just in time, foiling the plot and saving the king. The city breathed a sigh of relief, but the mystery of the Crimson Robe remained. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The person who had been blackmailing her was none other than her own boyfriend, Yoon Sung-ho. The betrayal was complete. Her boyfriend, the man she trusted, had been using her for his own gain. The revelation left her reeling, questioning everything she thought she knew. A week ago, a letter arrived that would change everything. At first, it looked like any other piece of mail, but one sentence inside revealed a truth that sent shockwaves through the city. The letter claimed that the city's most powerful sorcerer, the one who had protected them for years, was actually a fraud, a fake. This revelation was too big to ignore, and it set off a chain reaction of events that would shake the very foundations of the city. The protagonist, a young man with a sharp mind and a strong sense of justice, decided he couldn't let this lie stand. He vowed to investigate the truth, no matter the cost. The fate of the city now rested on his shoulders. With a steely resolve, he set out to uncover the secrets of the dead sorcerer. The journey ahead would be dangerous, but he was ready to face whatever challenges came his way to restore justice to the city. The boy sits alone on a bench, his hands trembling as he reads a letter. The words are simple, but the implication is terrifying. He's being hunted. His eyes widen in horror as he realizes the danger closing in. A dark figure emerges from the shadows, looming over the boy. The tension is palpable as the stranger confronts him, demanding answers. The boy's fear is evident in his shaking voice and wide eyes. The boy tries to stand his ground, but the stranger is relentless. He pushes the boy against a wall, forcing him to admit his weakness. The boy's resolve crumbles under the pressure. Back on the bench, the boy is left alone with his thoughts. He looks down at the ground, defeated and vulnerable. The stranger's words echo in his mind, reminding him of his inability to fight back. The letter revealed a chilling truth. The sender knew exactly who he was. The name Yoon Sung-ho was etched into the paper, a direct threat from the very man who had destroyed his life. Enraged, he crumpled the letter. This wasn't just a warning. It was a declaration of war. Yoon Sung-ho was coming for him, and he was ready to fight back. With a fierce resolve, he stood up. The time for hiding was over. He would confront Yoon Sung-ho head on and reclaim what was taken from him. As he stepped out into the night, the air was thick with tension. The final showdown was approaching, and he was prepared to face his destiny. Chet, the only thing good about you is your face. I'm going back. I'll help you. I can only help if you tell me what's going on. Help, you need it, right? The letter appeared harmless at first, but one line revealed a shocking truth that changed everything. The man's eyes widened as he read the message, his expression shifting from confusion to intense interest. With a newfound sense of purpose, he stood up and prepared to leave, ready to confront the mystery head on. As he walked away, the weight of the revelation settled in, driving him toward the next step in his journey. The man in the red jacket bursts into laughter, finding the situation hilariously absurd. He exclaims, "Pa-ha! A joke. That was a joke, right?" The older man, clearly enjoying the banter, responds with a playful jab. "A Jussie, you watch too many dramas! Ha ha ha!" The younger man, now serious, points out a striking resemblance. "You look similar to my younger sibling." The older man, still chuckling, dismisses it as a joke from a great novel. The younger man's expression shifts to one of disbelief and horror. He stares at the older man, his eyes wide and mouth agape, as if the truth of the situation has just hit him. The older man, sensing the change in atmosphere, looks at the younger man with concern. The younger man, clearly upset, wipes away tears, struggling to process the revelation. The younger man, now composed but determined, confronts the older man. "You're the one who killed my brother, aren't you?" The older man, visibly shaken, responds with a simple yes. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sorcerer's daughter was alive and trapped in the tower. With this new knowledge, the hero knew he had to act. The fate of the sorcerer's daughter now rested in his hands. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could destroy the entire city. The sorcerer's power was far greater than anyone imagined. With the truth exposed, the heroes knew they had to act fast. The fate of the city rested on their shoulders. As they prepared for the final confrontation, the weight of the sorcerer's threat hung heavy in the air. The battle for the city was about to begin. The letter arrives, seemingly mundane, but one line reveals a secret that changes everything. The truth is revealed: the sender is not who they appear to be. The stakes are higher than imagined. With the secret exposed, the protagonist must act. The fate of the city hangs in the balance. The man's phone screen displays a complex data readout, showing a mana level of 77.056 ppm. The time is 1:45 a.m., and the temperature is 2 degrees C. A note indicates the author may have intended to write MPEP instead of ppm. The man clicks a button on the interface, causing the readout to update. The mana level drops slightly to 77.203 ppm, and the status changes from good to warning. The background shows a city skyline at night. The man looks at the updated data with a worried expression. The readout now shows a warning status and a slightly lower mana level. The background reveals a dark, industrial-looking city with a large, glowing structure in the distance. The man, now identified as the sorcerer, stands in a dark, cavernous room. He is dressed in a black coat and has a serious expression. The background shows a large, glowing portal or device, suggesting he is about to perform a powerful spell or ritual. The sorcerer successfully completes his action, causing a bright, fiery explosion of energy. The background shows a destroyed or damaged structure. indicating the power of his spell. The scene ends with a sense of accomplishment. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden power within the artifact. A power that could be unleashed with a simple command. Intrigued, the sorcerer decided to test the claim. He whispered the activation phrase, and the artifact responded with a blinding flash. The flash was brief but intense, confirming the artifact's capabilities. The sorcerer now understood the true nature of the object he held. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The spell Oracle promised to solve life's problems, though the answer wouldn't be 100% accurate. Still, it could be helpful when things are hard. Wow, this app could be a game changer. But how much does it cost? As he considered the price, he wondered if this was the solution he'd been looking for. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's mana levels, sparking a sense of urgency. With the truth in hand, the protagonist resolved to investigate the anomaly, setting the stage for the adventure. As he walked, he pondered the implications of the letter, realizing the stakes were higher than he initially thought. The final line of the letter echoed in his mind, solidifying his commitment to uncover the mystery, no matter the cost. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer's daughter was alive and had been living in the city all along. This revelation shattered the protagonist's understanding of the world around him. Fueled by this new information, the protagonist resolved to find the daughter and uncover the secrets of the sorcerer's legacy. The stakes were higher than ever. As he searched the city, the protagonist encountered a mysterious figure who seemed to know more about the sorcerer's past. The tension mounted as he realized he was not alone in his quest. The search culminated in a confrontation where the protagonist finally located the sorcerer's daughter. The reunion was bittersweet, filled with both joy and the weight of the sorcerer's dark history. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, one that the sorcerer had been keeping secret for centuries. With the truth in hand, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the city depended on what they did next. As they approached the sorcerer's lair, the air grew thick with magic. The final confrontation was about to begin. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The flash ball is to get your attention. The real thing is suspenseful. In the suffocating darkness, a blinding starburst tears through the void, while a grotesque, one-eyed Leviathan drifts closer. The young man stands frozen, but the dark-haired woman reaches forward, her hand trembling between fear and determination. Whatever this creature is, it has already changed the rules of survival. And with that light burning brighter, retreat is no longer an option. The boy's eyes widened in horror as he read the letter. The words described a terrifying entity that could blind the heart and penetrate the unconscious mind. The letter stated that this creature had no name, but if one were to call it something, it would be. The boy's blood ran cold as he finished reading. The letter revealed the creature's true identity, the dead sorcerer. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sender was an incubus, and he was coming for her. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. She was alone, vulnerable, and now a target for a creature of the night. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark truth. The sorcerer's power was not just a legend, but a very real, imminent threat. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words revealed a hidden truth. The creature was an incubus, a being that feeds on human emotions and dreams. The letter warned that looking into the incubus's eyes would cause blindness, both physical and mental. Despite the danger, the protagonist decided to confront the incubus, driven by a need to understand the creature's power. As he approached, the incubus's eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and the air around them grew heavy with tension. The moment their eyes met, the protagonist felt a searing pain and a loss of vision, confirming the letter's warning was true. In the darkness, he heard the incubus speak, its voice echoing in his mind, offering a choice between oblivion and enlightenment. Intrigued by the creature's offer, the protagonist decided to listen, hoping to find a way to reverse the blindness or gain new knowledge. The incubus revealed that it had been observing him for a long time, waiting for someone brave enough to seek it out. The creature promised that if the protagonist could withstand its gaze for a full minute, it would grant him a vision of the future. With renewed determination, the protagonist prepared to face the incubus's gaze again, knowing the stakes were high, but the reward could be life-changing. As the countdown began, the tension in the room was palpable. The fate of the protagonist and the nature of the incubus hung in the balance. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a terrifying truth. The summoner was actually a hostile invader, and I had just given him the power to destroy my world. I couldn't comprehend it. How could I have been so blind? The creature in front of me was not a friend, but a deadly enemy. The creature seemed to sense my confusion. It asked if I thought it was a good person. I hesitated, unsure of what to believe. But then I remembered the girl, the one who had been killed. This was no ordinary mistake. It was a deliberate act of malice. The creature was a murderer. I had summoned a monster. I had to stop it. I couldn't let it hurt anyone else. The creature spoke again, but its words were cryptic. It mentioned a conversation and a truth that I didn't understand. Suddenly, the creature revealed its true form. It was a massive, terrifying beast, unlike anything I had ever seen. I was frozen in fear. I knew what I had to do. I had to fight this thing, even if it meant risking my own life. I couldn't let it destroy my world. The creature spoke of a moment of truth and a conversation that would determine the fate of the world. I had to be ready. I looked at the creature, my resolve hardening. I would not back down. I would fight for my home, for the girl who had been killed, and for the future of my world. The creature stared at me, waiting. I knew that the next few moments would be critical. I had to figure out how to stop this thing before it was too late. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The red-haired man's eyes widened in disbelief as he read the words. This wasn't just a message. It was a warning. He stared at the skyline, lost in thought. What did this mean for him? For the city? With a firm resolve, he turned to the next step. He couldn't ignore this. He had to act. As he walked, he recalled the sender's words. I understand why she didn't tell me. The weight of that secret hung heavy in his mind. He arrived at a dark alley, where two figures awaited him. The atmosphere was thick with tension. This was no casual meeting. His eyes narrowed with fury. Yoon Sung-ho. Why didn't you tell me? The silence between them spoke volumes. Trust had been broken. Despite the betrayal, he knew he had to move forward. The fate of the city depended on it. As he walked away, the letter's words echoed in his mind. The truth was out, but what would he do with it? He paused, looking up at the sky. The city seemed different now, more fragile, more dangerous. He had to be careful. With renewed purpose, he set off again. The path ahead was unclear, but he was ready to face whatever came next. The city watched him, silent and brooding. The game had changed, and he was now a key player. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for the fight ahead. The truth was out. Now, it was time to act. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was chilling. I'm watching you. I'll be there soon. The sender knew exactly where he was. With the threat looming, he rushed to the rooftop. Every second counted. As he arrived, he spotted a figure in the distance. It was too late to stop her. The girl jumped. He could only watch in horror as she fell to her death. Furious at his failure, he vowed to find the person responsible for this tragedy. Back at the station, he reviewed the case files. The victim was a student named Lee Ji-yoon. The official report labeled it a suicide, but he knew better. The letter proved it was murder. The victim's parents were devastated. They couldn't understand why their daughter would do this. He promised them he would find the truth. He wouldn't let their daughter's death be in vain. He visited the school to gather more information. The principal was uncooperative, hiding something. The school had a history of bullying. He suspected the victim was targeted, leading to her death. He decided to investigate the bullying claims. He needed to find the person who sent the letter. As he drove, he received another message. You're getting too close. Stop now, or you'll be next. The threat only fueled his determination. He would not back down until the killer was caught. He arrived at the victim's apartment. The door was locked, but he found a way in. Inside, he found a horrifying sight. The walls were covered in blood and cryptic messages. The messages hinted at a dark ritual or cult. The victim was likely sacrificed. He knew he was on the right track. He just needed to find the connection between the school and this cult. As he left the apartment, he felt a presence behind him. The killer was watching him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's eyes widened as he read the final line. The victim had left a message for him specifically. With a new sense of urgency, he rushed to the administrative office. He needed to see the victim's house immediately. The office was empty. but the door was unlocked. He stepped inside, scanning the room for any clues. The house was quiet and cold. The victim's mother was in the hospital, and her relatives had already taken her belongings. He looked around the empty room, trying to imagine what the victim's life was like. What had driven her to this point? His eyes fell on the balcony. The railing was low, and the drop was significant. This was where she had jumped. He needed to find out what had happened here. He returned to the office to gather more information. The administrator provided him with a key to the house. He returned to the scene, determined to uncover the truth. Standing on the balcony, he looked down at the street below. It was a long way down. What had made her take that final step? He vowed to find out. He would track down the relatives, interview the neighbors, and read every line of that letter again. As he left the house, he couldn't shake the feeling of loss. A young life had been cut short, and he was the only one who could find out why. This case was no longer just a routine investigation. It was personal. He would not rest until he found the truth. The detective arrives at the crime scene, ready to investigate the mysterious death of the sorcerer. Upon entering, he finds the scene has already been cleaned out, leaving no visible evidence for him to examine. With the physical evidence gone, the detective decides to review the data analysis provided by his colleague, hoping to find some clues there. As he reads the report, he realizes that the data analysis is crucial to understanding what happened. Even if the physical scene is empty, the detective begins to suspect that the cleaning of the scene might be part of a cover-up, making the data analysis even more critical. He continues to pore over the data, looking for any anomalies or patterns that could indicate foul play. Suddenly, a specific data point catches his eye, revealing a potential connection to a larger conspiracy. The detective is furious that the crime scene was cleaned before he could properly investigate, feeling that justice is being obstructed. Despite the lack of physical evidence, he vows to use the data analysis to track down the real culprit and solve the case. The plot thickens as the detective realizes the sorcerer's death may be linked to a much larger, hidden agenda. With renewed determination, he sets out to follow the leads provided by the data, hoping to uncover the truth behind the sorcerer's demise. As he investigates further, the detective encounters more obstacles, suggesting that someone is actively trying to prevent him from solving the case. He reflects on the nature of the sorcerer's work and that the potential enemies he may have made, trying to narrow down the list of suspects. The detective is not deterred by the lack of evidence. He is committed to using every resource available to bring the killer to justice. The final scene leaves the viewer with a sense of unease, as the detective stands alone in the dark, contemplating the complex web of deceit he has uncovered. With a steely gaze, the detective prepares to confront the forces that have conspired against him, determined to solve the case of the dead sorcerer. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth. The crimson robes were not just a uniform, but a symbol of a dark legacy. As he read, the weight of the words settled in. The robes he wore carried a history of betrayal and power. With newfound resolve, he decided to confront the past. The letter had awakened a sense of duty he couldn't ignore. The next step was clear. He had to find the source of this information. The clock was ticking, and the stakes were rising. As he walked through the dimly lit halls, every shadow seemed to whisper the secrets of the crimson robes. Finally, he reached the door. Behind it lay the truth, and a decision that would change his destiny forever. The room was empty, but the air was thick with history. The crimson robes hung on a rack, mocking him with their silent presence. He stood before the robes, knowing that to move forward, he must first understand the darkness they represented. With a deep breath, he reached out. The journey to redemption had begun, and the crimson robes would no longer define him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: the sorcerer was alive, and he was coming for them. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark truth. The city was built on the bones of a dead sorcerer, and the tower was his tomb. With the truth in hand, the protagonist knew he had to act. The fate of the city depended on stopping the sorcerer's resurrection. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret meeting place, marked by a single white rose. As he approached the location, the protagonist felt a chill. Who was waiting for him, and why? The rose lay on the ground, untouched. The silence was deafening. He was alone, but the danger felt very real. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the city's past, one that had been buried for decades. With the truth now exposed, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the city depended on it. The man's face was etched with regret as he stared at the letter. "I was too late," he whispered, the weight of the words heavy in the air. A small, rectangular box sat on the desk, labeled Lemonia. It was a gift, but the man's expression suggested he was expecting something else entirely. Inside the box was a lemon-flavored candy. The man looked at it, then back at the letter, clearly puzzled. "Today's not a cigarette, huh?" he muttered, trying to make sense of the unexpected gift. As he stood there, the man's mind raced. The letter had mentioned a gift. That would help him understand. But a lemon candy? What could it possibly mean? The mystery deepened, leaving him with more questions than answers. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a sinister plot to assassinate the king, signed by a mysterious X. With the fate of the kingdom at stake, the hero knew he had to act fast to stop the conspiracy. As he raced through the castle, he wondered who X really was, and if he could trust anyone. The girl stares at the letter, her expression shifting from confusion to realization. She reads a line that makes her eyes widen. Something about the sender being Oracle, and the ability to make her sleepy. This isn't just a random note. It's a message from the entity she's been searching for. The boy confronts the girl, demanding to know what happened yesterday. He's clearly upset. He remembers her disappearing suddenly, and now he's piecing together that she might have been taken by Oracle. The girl looks nervous, trying to explain without revealing too much. The girl admits that Oracle can indeed make people sleepy, a way to control them or move them without resistance. She recalls waking up in a different place, suggesting she was transported while asleep. The boy listens, visibly shaken, as he realizes the danger of this power. The boy explodes in anger, accusing the girl of abandoning him. He feels betrayed. She left him alone, while she was whisked away by a mysterious force. The tension between them escalates, and the girl struggles to defend herself, knowing she didn't have control over the situation. The young man exhales deeply, the weight of his worries visibly lifting from his shoulders. He smiles, realizing that sharing his burdens with someone has made a significant difference. With a newfound sense of purpose, he nods to himself and says, "I'll come back tomorrow." The ringing of the phone signals the end of his shift, but his mind is already focused on the future. As he walks away from the desk, the young man reflects on the conversation. The simple act of talking has given him a fresh perspective, and he's ready to face the challenges ahead. The final shot shows the young man standing tall, his expression one of quiet confidence. He has taken the first step towards overcoming his obstacles, and the journey continues. Others he read the letter. A single sentence caught his eye, freezing him in place. The implications were far more serious than he had anticipated. The message revealed a critical issue with the experiment's safety, prompting him to immediately seek medical advice for potential exposure. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king, signed by a traitorous noble. The stakes just skyrocketed. With the threat exposed, the heroes must act fast to stop the assassination and uncover the traitor's identity. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the anchoroid, sparking a sense of urgency. With the truth now known, the protagonist resolved to confront the anchoroid head-on. The confrontation with the anchoroid was imminent, and the stakes had never been higher. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man read the message and felt a chill. It was a warning, but from who? He knew he had to act fast. The fate of the city might depend on it. As he walked through the empty streets, he wondered if he was being watched. The letter had said meddlesome. Was he the target? At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. She didn't come yesterday either. Did something happen? I have to find her. I can't let her face this alone. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret meeting point, a place where the truth about the sorcerer's death would be exposed. With the location in hand, the protagonist knew what had to be done. Tomorrow, he would confront the truth head-on. The stage was set for a showdown. The protagonist prepared to face the unknown, driven by the need to uncover the sorcerer's fate. The officer, now aware of the supernatural threat, prepares to confront the suspect. He activates his ICE shield and readies his weapon, determined to capture the sorcerer before he can cause further harm. As the officer approaches the building, the siren noise intensifies, signaling the imminent arrival of the suspect. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation as the final showdown begins. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the kingdom. The letter begins with a seemingly innocent question about a nearby accident. But the tone suggests there's more to the story. The revelation that the writer is actually the dead sorcerer himself sends a chill down the spine, completely flipping the context of the letter. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words "I'm alive" froze him in place. This couldn't be real. She was supposed to be dead. He raced to the address, his mind spinning with possibilities. Was it a trap? A miracle? He had to find out. The room was empty, but the bloodstains and scattered petals told a story of violence and loss. The rose, a symbol of her, or a warning. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could destroy the entire city. With the truth in hand, he knew he had to act fast. The fate of the city rested on his shoulders. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The police were not who they appeared to be. With this new knowledge, the protagonist knew they had to act fast to uncover the truth. The team gathers for a briefing, but one key member is conspicuously absent. The tension in the room is palpable as they wait for Detective Kim to arrive. As the minutes tick by, the detectives grow increasingly restless. The silence is broken by whispers of concern. Where is Kim? And why is he late for such an important meeting? The leader of the task force steps forward, his expression grim. He reveals that Kim has been missing for over 20 minutes. Far too long for a routine delay. This isn't just lateness, it's a red flag. With a steely resolve, the team decides to proceed without Kim. They know the case is too critical to wait. They must act now, even if it means going in blind. The stakes have never been higher. The detective sits at his desk, staring at a computer screen. His expression shifts from casual to intense as he reads something alarming. He slams his fist on the desk, clearly frustrated. Really, Crimson Robe? It's busy as hell. The Magic Division has nothing to talk about. He mutters under his breath, "You son of a ol," before turning to his colleague. "Parkcha, Gay, have you tried calling?" "Parkcha." Gade looks nervous. "Well," he said, "he'd be here soon." The detective's eyes narrow, waiting for the arrival of someone important. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. "What the hell am I doing for this red-caped rabbit bastard? I'm supposed to be a detective, not a delivery boy." We searched Yoon Sung Ho's apartment thoroughly, but didn't find a single strand of hair. There's no evidence. The surveillance camera was disturbed and didn't catch a glimpse of the Crimson Robe either. That's why I'm telling you, Mr. Bear. Hand it over to us. We need that artifact to stop this madness. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth. The sorcerer's power was still active, and the city was in danger. With the threat confirmed, the detective knew he had to act fast. The race to stop the sorcerer's legacy was on. The man in the suit exploded with rage, his face contorted as he screamed at the cowering figures before him.
Shut the fuck up! You useless idiots!
He roared, his voice echoing with fury. In a stark contrast to the previous outburst, a soft, almost ethereal voice spoke from the shadows. "I agree," it said, sending a chill down the spines of the listeners. The three men turned in unison, their expressions shifting from anger to sheer terror. The source of the voice was revealed, and it was not what they expected. The room fell silent, broken only by the sound of their heavy breathing. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden agenda, forcing the protagonist to question the loyalty of his allies. Confronted by his superior, the protagonist defended his actions, claiming to have been investigating the very person who sent the letter. With the truth now exposed, the protagonist vowed to uncover the real traitor, setting the stage for a dangerous game of deception. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden connection between the victim and the sorcerer, turning a simple murder case into a complex conspiracy. The detective slammed the table, furious that the alien investigator seemed to care more about the case than the victim's life. With the new evidence in hand, the team set out to track down the sorcerer, determined to bring him to justice. As they approached the sorcerer's lair, they wondered what other secrets the letter might hold, and if they were prepared for what they would find. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's face twisted with rage as he read the words. "You seem only concerned with Yoon Selong, Ho, and Crimson Robe," he snarled, slamming his fist on the table. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. "The key to this case is Han Soo Young. The dead Han Soo Young. This is scene photo 024. The picture of Han Soo Young's shoes before she died." The detective stares at the image, piecing together the final moments of the victim's life. The man's expression hardened as he read the message. "If you can't figure it out after seeing this, you should all go back home and water your flowers." The words were a direct challenge, a test of their resolve and intelligence. The room fell silent. The man, now identified as the leader, stared at the screen, his mind racing. The message was cryptic, but it was clear that the sender was toying with them, expecting them to fail. The leader's eyes narrowed. He wasn't about to let this insult stand. With a steely resolve, he decided to take the bait and see what the sender had planned. The game was on. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the flower shop owner, a secret that could destroy the entire town. With the truth in hand, the protagonist knew he had to act fast. The fate of the city depended on his next move. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sorcerer's soul was trapped in a cursed artifact, and only the recipient could free him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth, was targeting the very people investigating him. The team knew they had to act fast. The killer was playing a dangerous game, and they were the next target. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man in the suit asked for a flower recommendation, specifically one that's easy to grow. This seemingly simple request hints at a deeper, more complex agenda. Han-Soo, young, lived together with her mother. This quiet, domestic detail contrasts sharply with the dark, secretive nature of the conversation happening in the office, suggesting a tragic backstory or a hidden connection. The letter, seemingly ordinary at first, revealed a heartbreaking truth. The writer, a young woman, had been struggling with severe depression, feeling trapped and hopeless in her current situation. But the letter wasn't just a cry for help. It was a declaration of intent. The writer had decided to take control of her fate, planning to escape her oppressive environment and start a new life. The final lines of the letter were cryptic, mentioning a key and a secret passage out of the villa. The reader was left wondering, did she succeed in her escape, or did something go wrong? The detective sits in the quiet house, reviewing the timeline. For 4 hours, the victim was alone here. No visitors, no outings. But then, he notices something on the floor that contradicts the isolation. A pair of shoes lies near the door, clearly worn and not belonging to the victim. This suggests someone else was in the house during those 4 hours. The detective's eyes narrow as he realizes the crime scene is more complex than it appears. Han-Soo. Young should be home alone, but how could the shoes be facing towards the door? Not only that, it looks like they've been stepped on as well. The letter reveals a shocking truth. The sender is actually the dead sorcerer himself, trapped in a painting. He's been observing Han-Soo, Young, and her family for years. The sorcerer claims he can free himself from the painting, but only if Han-Soo, Young, performs a specific ritual. The stakes are high, and the consequences of failure are dire. With the fate of her family hanging in the balance, Han-Soo, Young must decide whether to trust the words of a dead man and attempt the dangerous ritual. The professor's challenge was simple: go home and test the shoe removal sequence. But the implications were far from simple. If the shoes are taken off naturally, they will never be positioned that way. This suggests the sequence is not just a physical test, but a mental or magical one, designed to reveal something about the user's state of mind or their connection to the sorcerer's world. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's eyes narrowed as he read the chilling message. It was a direct threat, and he knew he had to act fast. With the clock ticking, he gathered his team and prepared to confront the sender of the letter. The game was on. As they arrived at the scene, the detective felt a surge of confidence. He was ready to solve this case, no matter what it took. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a chilling truth. Someone had been watching them from the shadows. With the threat now clear, the team knew they had to act fast to protect the house. As they entered the house, the air was thick with tension. Every shadow seemed to hold a danger. In the dark hallway, a single eye stared back at them. The intruder was closer than they thought. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark truth. The sender was a sorcerer, and the recipient was unknowingly harboring a dangerous artifact. The recipient, now aware of the risk, quickly hid the letter. But the damage was done. The sorcerer had marked them for a visit. With the threat looming, the recipient resolved to protect the artifact at all costs, even if it meant facing the sorcerer head on. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The dead sorcerer had been alive all along, hiding in plain sight. This revelation sent shockwaves through the community, forcing them to question everything they thought they knew about the incident. As the news spread, the city was thrown into chaos. People panicked, wondering if the sorcerer was still lurking nearby or if there were more secrets waiting to be uncovered. The atmosphere was thick with uncertainty and fear. In response to the crisis, the authorities took immediate action. They cordoned off the area and began a thorough investigation to locate the sorcerer and ensure the safety of the citizens. The stakes were high, and time was of the essence. The crowd's chatter grows louder, more frantic. People are pushing, shoving, desperate to get through. The air is thick with tension, and the protagonist's face reflects the chaos around her.
A voice cuts through the noise. Hey! Over there! Stand aside, please!
But the crowd doesn't listen. They're too caught up in their own panic. The protagonist looks on, her expression a mix of anger and helplessness. As the crowd continues to surge, a voice from the back mutters, "Ah, it's all messed up." The protagonist's eyes narrow. She knows this isn't just a traffic jam. Something far more sinister is at play, and she's trapped in the middle of it. The crowd is in a frenzy, pushing and shoving to get a glimpse of the action. The guards are struggling to maintain order, shouting commands to control the chaos. The leader of the group steps forward with a fierce look in his eyes. He raises his voice above the noise, demanding that the road be cleared for their passage. As the path begins to open, the leader's gaze locks onto a specific individual in the crowd. The tension rises as he approaches, ready to confront the person who has been causing trouble. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am a paladin," were written in the blood of a fallen comrade. The weight of that sacrifice was crushing. The protagonist's eyes hardened. He knew he had to avenge this loss and fulfill the promise made in that bloody letter. With a steely resolve, he set out on his quest, driven by the memory of his fallen friend and the oath he had just read. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The sorcerer's daughter was alive, and she was being held captive. With a newfound purpose, the sorcerer vowed to rescue his daughter, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the city of dead sorcerer," hit him like a punch to the gut. This wasn't just a letter. It was a declaration of war. With a steely resolve, he crumpled the letter. The city of dead sorcerer had made its move. Now, it was his turn. The bullet tore through the air, striking the target with a deafening crack. The impact was instantaneous and brutal. The assassin stood tall, his weapon smoking. He had completed the mission with precision and efficiency. Others he walked away. The city remained unaware of the deadly exchange that had just occurred. The assassin vanished into the shadows. The letter lay on the desk, its message now irrelevant. The fate of the recipient had been sealed by a single, well-placed shot. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. Right? At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words on the page were impossible. The sender knew things about me that no one should have known. I had to find out who wrote this. The truth was out there, and I was going to get it. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The city was built on the bones of a dead sorcerer, and the curse was about to awaken. With time running out, the hero raced through the city, determined to stop the curse before it consumed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, one that could shake the very foundations of their society. With this new knowledge, the protagonist vowed to uncover the secrets of the dead sorcerer, no matter the cost. 3 days have passed, but the pain remains relentless. Every step is a reminder of the beating he took. Should I go to the hospital? He wonders, but pride and embarrassment hold him back. You fuckers. Just you wait, he mutters, his determination hardening despite the agony. With a fierce resolve, he pushes through the pain. The dark streets become his training ground, his body a vessel for vengeance. I'll get stronger, he vows. Others call me, I'll make them pay for what they did. As he walks, a letter catches his eye. It's addressed to him, but the sender is unknown. With trembling hands, he opens it, revealing a message that will change his life forever. You are the chosen one. The power of the dead sorcerer awaits you. The elevator doors slide open, revealing a dark, empty hallway. The man steps out, his eyes scanning the surroundings with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. The silence is broken only by the faint hum of the building systems. With a sense of purpose, he strides down the corridor, his gaze fixed on the door marked 12. The weight of the letter he carries presses against his chest, fueling his resolve to confront the unknown. He reaches the door and pauses, taking a deep breath. This is the moment he has been waiting for. He knocks gently, the sound echoing in the quiet space, and waits for the response that will change his life. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The door to the forbidden room opened, revealing a sight that would haunt him forever. Inside, the corpse of a young girl floated in a tank, her eyes wide open in a silent scream. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a truth so shocking, it left the recipient breathless. The world as they knew it was about to be turned upside down. With a newfound sense of purpose, the protagonist stepped forward. The fate of the city now rested in their hands. As they entered the chamber, the air grew heavy with an ancient, malevolent presence. The dead sorcerer's legacy was waiting to be confronted. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The hooded figure's message was clear. The boy was being hunted, and the hunter was already inside the house. As the boy read the letter, a massive, shadowy creature burst through the wall behind him. The hunt had begun. With no time to think, the boy grabbed a sword and charged at the monster, determined to survive. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, one that could shake the very foundation of their world. As the implications of the letter sunk in, the sorcerer realized they were not just reading history, but a ticking time bomb. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. Hansu Young committed suicide yesterday. That's impossible. She was alive and well just a few hours ago. I lost last time because I was alone. But this time, I'll crush you bitches in a while. The letter revealed a horrifying truth. Someone had died because of the video he took. The weight of that sentence crushed him, leaving him speechless and reeling from the implications. Enraged by the accusation, he demanded answers. Who had died? Who was responsible? The questions poured out of him as he struggled to comprehend the gravity of the situation. With a newfound sense of purpose, he resolved to investigate. He couldn't let this go unaddressed. He needed to find out the truth and make things right, no matter the cost. The man's fury erupted as he slammed his fist into the wall, demanding to know who the hell they were and how they knew about the video. The tension in the room was palpable, the air thick with unresolved anger. In a sudden, violent collision, the man was knocked to the ground, his face contorted in shock and pain. The impact was brutal, leaving him dazed and vulnerable. As he struggled to regain his bearings, the man looked up, his expression shifting from shock to confusion. He muttered, "Huh?" repeatedly, trying to process what had just happened and who was responsible. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. People call this spell redemption, I believe. It's nothing special. It just makes the victim's muscles become dull. The sorcerer's eyes narrowed as he read the final line. This wasn't just a letter. It was a declaration of war. The sorcerer explains the limitations of the spell, noting that while it restricts movement, it doesn't completely silence the victim. This leaves a window for potential communication or escape. Despite the constraints, the sorcerer finds the spell effective. The victim's struggle is visible, but the sorcerer remains confident in the spell's utility for their purposes. The sorcerer is asked why the spell is considered good. The implication is that the spell serves a specific, perhaps nefarious, purpose that the sorcerer is satisfied with, despite the victim's plight. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words revealed a dark truth. The sorcerer's power was not just magic. It was a curse that inflicted real pain. With this knowledge, the hero resolved to confront the sorcerer, ready to face the pain that awaited. The letter begins with a standard greeting, but the tone quickly shifts as the writer reveals a shocking secret. The writer claims to have discovered a way to reverse the effects of the redemption, which has been used to torture and control people for centuries. Driven by a desire for justice, the writer vows to share this knowledge with the world, hoping to free those who have been enslaved by this dark magic. The letter ends with a call to action, urging the recipient to spread the word and help bring an end to the tyranny of the sorcerers. The letter's contents were shocking. It revealed a conspiracy that threatened the entire kingdom. The recipient, a young noble, was now in grave danger. Enraged by the betrayal, the noble confronted the messenger. A violent struggle ensued, ending with the messenger being thrown to the ground. With the messenger subdued, the noble vowed to investigate the conspiracy. The fate of the kingdom now rested on his shoulders. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The sender was a powerful sorcerer who had been watching him, and he had a chilling proposal. The sorcerer offered to teach him the secrets of necromancy, the power to control the dead. But there was a catch. He had to prove his worth by committing a heinous act. With a heavy heart, he accepted the challenge. He knew the path ahead would be dark, but the promise of power was too strong to resist. The knight's face contorted with horror as he read the letter. The words, "I should enjoy it as well," echoed in his mind, sending a chill down his spine. Furious, the knight crumpled the letter and stormed out of the room, determined to confront the sender and demand answers. With a fierce resolve, the knight prepared for battle, knowing that the fate of the kingdom rested on his ability to stop the sorcerer's dark plans. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the Demon King," hit him like a punch to the gut. This wasn't just a letter. It was a declaration of war. He stared at the paper, trying to process what he just read. Was this a joke? A trap? Or the truth? No matter what, he had to find out who wrote this. The fate of the kingdom, and his own, depended on it. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the dead sorcerer," sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a letter, it was a declaration of war. With a fierce resolve, he crumpled the letter and vowed to confront the sorcerer. The game had just begun. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The hooded figure's eyes widened in shock as he read the words. The message was clear: the sorcerer was not just a legend. He was real. And he was watching. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words were a direct threat to his family. The sender knew exactly where they lived. He couldn't let this go unpunished. He had to find the source of this threat. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sorcerer's power was not just a legend. It was real, and it was coming for them. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the protagonist's mind. With newfound resolve, the protagonist set out to uncover the secrets of the city of Dead Sorcerer. As they approached the city, the air grew heavy with an eerie silence, hinting at the dark magic that lay ahead. As the man steps off the elevator, the sterile corridors of the research facility stretch out before him. The air is thick with tension, and the faint hum of machinery underscores the gravity of his mission. Approaching a nondescript door, he pauses to read the label. 3F Area B. This is where the experiment is being conducted. With a deep breath, he prepares to enter. Inside, the scene is chaotic. A scientist lies unconscious on the floor, and the room is filled with the eerie glow of a portal. The man's eyes widen as he realizes the experiment has gone horribly wrong, and he is now face with the consequences. The detective reads the autopsy report, his expression darkening as he learns the victim had bruises around her face and neck. The official cause of death is a fall, but the presence of these injuries suggests something more sinister may have occurred. In a hospital room, a young woman lies unconscious on a bed, her face bruised and swollen. The doctor notes that obtaining consent for the autopsy was difficult, implying the victim's family may be hiding something, or that the circumstances of her death are being obscured. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective pondered the evidence, or lack thereof. Well, I do think that it's a murder. There is no evidence. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. She wasn't always like that. She was kind, until something broke her. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The girl had committed suicide. This wasn't just a breakup note. It was a cry for help that went unheard. The protagonist, clearly shaken, recalls the girl's past. She was once a bright, sociable person, but her relationship with Yoon Sung Ho changed her. The bruises on her face and her withdrawal from friends were signs of abuse. The revelation of the suicide video and the abusive relationship enrages the protagonist. He vows to find Yoon Sung Ho and make him pay for what he did to the girl. The detective stares at the crime scene photo, his brow furrowed. The image is grainy, the details obscured. He wonders if this single, poor quality snapshot is really enough to build a case on. His partner approaches, looking equally skeptical. If the crime scene wasn't preserved well, we'll have to terminate the whole thing, he says, echoing the detective's own fears. The weight of the decision hangs in the air, but then a voice cuts through the doubt. Then, just terminate it. The speaker, a man with piercing eyes and a commanding presence, stands in the doorway. His words are simple, but carry an undeniable authority. The detective feels a surge of resolve. The detective looks back at the photo, then to the man in the doorway. He understands now. This isn't just a case, it's a test of their commitment. With a firm nod, he decides to push forward despite the risks. The game is on. Detective Kim sits in his office, deep in thought. He's reading a letter from Han Soo, young, which mentions a mysterious crimson robe and a murder. The detective is skeptical about the claims made in the letter. The detective stands up, looking determined. He explains that if the crimson robe were the killer, he would have used his signature banned spells. Since no such spells were used, the crimson robe is not the culprit. The detective complains about the lack of reliable data. He mentions that he has to rely on Klutz's data, which is unreliable. He suggests that the real killer might be Yoon Sung Ho, as it would make more sense, given the context of the letter. The detective's face contorted with rage as he read the letter. The accusation that his partner, Ms. G.A., was a klutz who failed to notice the signs of violence was a direct insult to her professionalism and his own investigative skills. He paused, staring at the corpse. The letter claimed the victim lived with bruises, suggesting the killer was someone close who could inflict harm without detection. This shifted the focus from a random attack to a targeted, intimate crime. The detective's thoughts raced. If the culprit was Yoon Sung Ho, as the letter implied, the case would be complicated by his death. But if it was Crimson Robe, the notorious serial killer, the investigation would take on a whole new level of danger and complexity. He sighed, realizing that no matter the culprit, the involvement of Crimson Robe meant this would not be a simple murder case. The presence of the red, robed figure in the background confirmed that the chaos and mystery associated with that name were now part of this investigation. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The problem is why Yoon Sung Ho killed Han Soo Young. There shouldn't be any reason Who did such a thing? I'll find out. The detective's face drained of color as he read the letter. It's been hacked, he whispered, his voice barely audible. The implications of that single word were staggering. Wait. Now that I think about it, this doesn't make sense. If the system was hacked, how did the letter get here? And why would the hacker send a warning? This is a trap. I need to find out who sent this. If the system is compromised, we're all in danger. I have to act fast before it's too late. The door lock is being hacked, and the tension in the room is palpable. The characters are on edge, waiting for the inevitable breach. With a fierce dash, the protagonist charges forward, ready to confront the danger head-on. The stakes are high, and the battle is about to begin. Detective Kim rushes out of the police station, his mind racing with a new theory. He's convinced that Han Soo, Young's death, was not a suicide, but a carefully orchestrated murder. As he drives to the victim's house, Kim recalls the inconsistencies in the case. The letter, the timing, the lack of motive for suicide. It all points to foul play. Arriving at the house, Kim prepares to confront the truth. He knows that finding the real killer is his only chance to bring justice for Han Soo. Young, the man's face contorted with fury as he read the letter. Her video spread in about 3-4 days ago, he shouted, slamming his fist on the table. The time that it spreads and the time she notices! Even if Yoon Sung, Ho told her about it, suicide isn't something so easy. There are always omens! You also need time to think things through. With a fierce determination, the man grabbed his coat and stormed out of the room. I'm going to find her, he declared. I'll make sure she's safe, no matter what it takes. As he ran through the streets, a glimmer of hope sparked in his mind. Perhaps, just perhaps, he could reach her in time. He had to try. For her, and for himself. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. 3-4 days is too short! This can't be a suicide. I'm certain now. The last piece of the puzzle is in hand. Now, it's time to verify the truth and take down the Crimson Robe. I'll take you down piece by piece. Crimson Robe. Your reign of terror ends here, with the final piece of evidence secured. The hero prepares to confront the Crimson Robe, determined to bring justice to the city. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the Sorcerer's past, one that could shake the very foundation of their world. With this new knowledge, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the city depended on it. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, one that could shake the foundations of their reality. The recipient's eyes widened in disbelief as they realized the implications of what they had just read. With a newfound sense of purpose, they resolved to investigate further, knowing that the fate of the city might depend on it. The man's eyes narrowed as he read the letter, his expression shifting from casual to intense. The message had clearly revealed something significant about the building's history. With a newfound purpose, he strode toward the entrance, demanding to see the foundation stone. The guards exchanged nervous glances, unsure of what this stranger was after. The stone was uncovered, revealing an inscription that confirmed the building's construction date and architect. But the man's reaction suggested this was more than just a historical fact. It was a key piece of a larger puzzle. The letter appeared innocuous at first, but a single sentence revealed a chilling truth that would change everything. Detective Park stood in the interrogation room, the weight of the revelation pressing on him. He could feel the darkness of the sorcerer's influence seeping into the very walls. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the sorcerer's past, a secret that could destroy his reputation and career. With the truth exposed, the sorcerer had no choice but to confront the sender. The battle for his legacy had just begun. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The year was 2020, a time when postal teleportation transmitters were first supplied to buildings, promising instant delivery. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The postman, a man of few words, handed over the envelope with a look that said, "This is different." As he read the message, the weight of the words sank in. This wasn't just mail, it was a summons. With a deep breath, he made a decision. He would answer the call, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: the package contained something dangerous. The delivery man's life was on the line. With no time to waste, he rushed to the address, praying he wasn't walking into a trap. The door lock, hacked on the day Han-Soo, Young died, now stands as a silent witness to the tragedy. Its presence alone evokes a chill, reminding us that something sinister occurred here. The detective, visibly shaken, processes the connection between the hacked lock and the victim's death. His expression shifts from confusion to realization as he begins to piece together the puzzle. With a steely gaze, the detective confronts the situation head-on. He is no longer just observing. He is actively investigating, determined to uncover the truth behind the hacked lock and the murder. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The air hummed with a low, persistent frequency. The machines were alive, and they were waiting. The delivery man, clearly frustrated, asks if the storage room is for packages. The woman responds with a cryptic "woon" and points out an undelivered package, suggesting something is amiss. The delivery man's anger flares as he realizes the package hasn't been delivered. He confronts the woman, accusing her of being a monster for the delay, which she denies, claiming it's not her fault. The delivery man, now determined to get answers, demands to know who is responsible for the delivery. The woman reveals that the package is for the dead sorcerer, and that he is the only one who can deliver it. With the truth revealed, the delivery man accepts his fate. He acknowledges that he is the monster in question, and prepares to deliver the package to the dead sorcerer, ending the confrontation. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The package storage condition list revealed a pattern. The manager's signature was consistent, but the receiver's column was mostly empty. This suggested the packages were being delivered, but the recipients were not signing for them. The detective's eyes widened as he spotted a specific entry. Room number 1110, Han-Soo Young's house, had a package listed. However, the receiver check was not there yet, indicating the package had not been officially received by the resident. With this new information, the detective knew he had to act fast. He needed to find out what was in that package and why the resident hadn't claimed it.
The package is gone!
The 1110 package has disappeared from the vault. The guard is frantic, searching the room. He can't believe what's happened. The man in the scarf steps forward, ready to investigate. He knows this is serious. He examines the letter, looking for any clues. The disappearance of the package is a mystery that needs solving. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. With a smirk, he whispered bingo. The game had just begun, and he was already ahead. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective scratched out the crimson-robed suspect, declaring Han Soo-young's death unrelated to the infamous Sorcerer. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a chilling truth. The sender knew exactly who she was, and they were watching her every move. This wasn't just a threat. It was a warning. The stalker was closer than she thought, and the game had just begun. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth. The sorcerer's power was not lost, but sealed away. And the key to unlocking it lay in the very city they were exploring. With this new knowledge, the group's mission shifted. They were no longer just searching for artifacts. They were on a quest to restore the sorcerer's legacy. As they delved deeper into the city's secrets, they discovered that the sorcerer had left behind a series of trials. Only by completing these challenges could they hope to find the hidden seal. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer's death was not an accident. It was a calculated assassination. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. The sorcerer's curse was still active, and it was targeting the very people who had defeated him. One word changes the entire atmosphere. The accusation cuts deep, branding him without mercy and setting the stage for a confrontation that feels inevitable. Darkness swallows the room. Behind that silent door, secrets wait in the shadows, and the air itself feels heavy with unspoken threats. The dark-haired figure stands tall, extending his reach with cold authority. This is not a rescue, it is a claim, and the smaller figure has nowhere to run. Looking up from the floor, the lighter-haired youth meets the gaze with trembling resolve. The gap between them is not just physical. It is the distance between freedom and captivity. What happens next will decide everything. The dark-haired survivor emerges from shadow, his silhouette cut by an eerie blue glow. Every tense line in his profile warns that something dangerous is awakening inside him. This is not just survival. This is a man pushed to the absolute edge. Without warning, cold steel presses against the back of his head. An unseen enemy closes the distance, turning the moment lethal. The stakes are absolute. one trigger pull, and everything ends before it can begin. He strikes back. The weapon is now in his hand, raised high as crimson splatter stains his dark uniform. A deafening beang shatters the silence. Proof that he refused to become the victim. But the blood on his clothes reveals the brutal cost of this reversal. Beneath him, the fallen attacker reaches out in defeat, chains dragging through the chaos. Red stains spread like a grim signature across the scene. The protagonist stands victorious, yet the chains and blood remind us. Mercy does not exist here, and neither can he afford it. Sin suspenseful. Two hands reach across a dark divide, one wrapped in shadow, the other in lighter cloth. Between them, a barrier trembles, as if the silence itself is about to shatter. And intense. The dark-haired youth steps forward with an unsettling grin. Glowing blue streaks trace his face like fractures in glass, and a sharp sound tears through the darkness. He is not afraid. He is waiting. Focused, the camera pushes closer. His smile holds steady, eyes burning with that same eerie blue light. There is no doubt left. Only cold purpose and a decision already made. Hargrave from behind. Three figures stand before a blinding doorway. The central youth, flanked by two shadowed companions, faces the unknown light together. Are they stepping into salvation or walking straight into a trap? The glow offers no answers, only what comes next. In the suffocating darkness, a lone figure presses against the wall, hand covering their mouth. Every breath feels like a betrayal, because something is already inside the room with them. The corridor reveals a grim truth. A body lies motionless on the cold floor, crimson pooling beneath them. The silence here is not peaceful. It is the silence of a life violently erased. A face emerges from shadow, eyes wide with a mixture of terror and recognition. This is not just fear of death. It is the crushing weight of knowing who caused it, and that the danger is far from over. As the darkness deepens, the truth becomes unavoidable. The killer is not a stranger in the night, but someone who has been watching all along. And now, there is nowhere left to hide, hence suspenseful. The young fighter lies broken on the ground, blood splattered across his face. His eyes are wide with pure terror, realizing the fight is already lost. Hair intense. Emerging from the darkness is a monstrous figure with wild hair and razor-sharp teeth. Its very presence feels like a death sentence. Grim. The creature dominates the frame, its terrifying form leaving no room for hope. The fallen warrior is completely at its mercy. Shocking. Then, the crushing blow lands. Not physical, but verbal. One word echoes through the darkness, branding him with absolute shame. The young man snaps awake, eyes wide with pure shock. Sweat traces his face as an invisible weight presses down. Something has violently pulled him from unconsciousness, and the air feels charged with danger. Sitting upright in bed, he reads the impossible messages floating before him. Magic is yours.
Live a more comfortable life.
They aren't just words. They're a contract written in mystery, offering power at an unknown cost. His gaze drops to a door that shouldn't exist, bearing the inscription, Magic Goods. Specialized business. This is no ordinary room. It's a gateway to a hidden world, where magic is traded like currency. Then comes the eerie call.
Hayoseno!
Echoing as the entrance slides open. Whatever waits inside knows his name, or his fate. The choice is his: claim the magic, or remain a prisoner of the ordinary. Suspenseful. In a shadow-filled room, a figure remains trapped in sleep as chaos surrounds them. Papers scattered across the floor, furniture displaced. Others, caught in eerie red glow, piercing the darkness. Then come the unsettling words, a casual greeting, followed by a chilling announcement of a new product. The stark contrast between the mundane message and the desolate setting raises terrifying questions about who is truly delivering this broadcast and what dark purpose this so-called product serves. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. The Sorcerer's power was still active, and it was hunting for a new host. With the threat confirmed, the team knew they had to act fast. The race to stop the Sorcerer before it claimed another victim was officially on. A massive structure dominates the frame, its sign looming like a silent verdict. An unseen voice delivers a chillingly formal, "Thanks for your cooperation," only to be met with a sharp dismissal. No. It's only obvious. Haha. The laughter isn't joyful. It's the sound of absolute certainty, signaling that whatever deal was struck, the outcome was never in doubt. The dark-haired observer stands apart, watching the group disappear into the hazy cityscape. His stillness carries weight. He sees the truth behind the polite words. The growing distance between them isn't just space. It's the divide between those who understand the cost of cooperation and those walking blindly toward it. Whatever was agreed upon, the real price has yet to be collected. The blonde investigator freezes, his wide eyes betraying pure shock. Beside him, the dark-haired companion delivers the blow with cold certainty. The security guard was never the culprit. In an instant, the foundation of their theory collapses, leaving only a terrifying void of unknown motives. The logic is ruthless and undeniable. A guilty guard would never need to hack a door lock. That single contradiction exposes the crime's hidden stupidity. Proving the real perpetrator is someone who understands the building's weaknesses far too well. The package storage hides in a perfect blind spot, untouched by cameras. This is not luck, it is insider knowledge. The dark-haired investigator realizes the terrifying truth. The culprit might not be an outsider at all, but a resident walking among them every single day. The stairs become a phantom's highway, completely erased from every security feed. Unless the main entrance camera caught a glimpse, the culprit has already vanished into the architecture itself. The hunt just became nearly impossible. The detective, clearly exhausted from a long night of surveillance, struggles to stay awake as he reviews the CCTV footage. His partner reminds him that they must persevere, as the key to solving the case likely lies within the recorded data. Despite his fatigue, the detective remains determined. He knows that the slightest detail in the footage could reveal the truth behind the mysterious incident, pushing him to continue the investigation through the night. As the hours pass, the detective becomes increasingly frustrated. The footage reveals a critical error. The classification of the incident was mistakenly labeled as a suicide, J. Salve, instead of a homicide, Tay. Salve. This misclassification has likely delayed the investigation and prevented the true perpetrator from being identified. Realizing the gravity of the mistake, the detective springs into action. He immediately corrects the classification and prepares to analyze the evidence, determined to find the real killer and bring justice to the victim. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: the eye-dyeing experiment had failed. The subject was now blind. With the truth revealed, the team rushed to the video analysis room to review the footage. The room was dark and quiet, the perfect environment to analyze the critical data. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. The sorcerer's curse was real, and it was targeting them. With the threat confirmed, the detectives knew they had to act fast. The race to find the culprit before the curse took effect was on. As they prepared to leave, one detective remained calm, convinced the culprit would leave a trace. The investigation was just beginning. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. That fucking idiot took the package. If he didn't, the investigation would have been in chaos. Did he take it? Because he thought he left his trace there. The package was a make-up dispenser, quite expensive. Han Soo-young's mother ordered it. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The note was addressed to the Sorcerer's Apprentice, a title that should have been forgotten. This wasn't just a prank. It was a direct challenge to the past. The message warned of a demon lurking in the PC room, waiting to be summoned. The apprentice knew this was no joke. The sorcerer's power was real, and so was the danger. With a mix of fear and resolve, the apprentice decided to confront the threat. He would enter the PC room and see what, or who, was waiting for him. The detective's eyes narrowed as she read the letter. The words, "I'm watching you," sent a chill down her spine, confirming her worst fears. The stalker was still out there, and he was getting closer. With a steely resolve, she turned to her partner. "We need to find that make-up dispenser. If the culprit is a man, he won't need it. But if it's a woman or a transvestite, that's our key to identifying them." The thought of a man dressing as a woman to commit these crimes added a new layer of complexity. The detective knew she had to act fast. The stalker was playing a dangerous game, and she was determined to be the one to checkmate him. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden agenda, forcing the protagonist to question the true intentions of the sender. As the implications sank in, a sense of dread washed over them. The game had just become much more dangerous. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a conspiracy, far deeper than anyone expected, sending shockwaves through the room. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I'm alive," hit him like a punch to the gut. The man who wrote this was supposed to be dead, with a newfound sense of purpose. He grabbed his jacket and stormed out of the office, ready to confront the truth. As he walked through the empty streets, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of a much larger mystery. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the room. With a newfound sense of purpose, the protagonist vowed to uncover the full story behind the sorcerer's legacy. As the letter was put away, the weight of the revelation settled in, marking the beginning of a dangerous quest for truth. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. The sender knew exactly who he was, and they were coming for him. With a fierce resolve, he decided to confront the threat head-on. No more hiding. As he stepped into the dark alley, the air grew heavy with anticipation. The trap was set. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's eyes darted across the page, his expression shifting from confusion to alarm. The message was clear. He was being watched. With a fierce resolve, he crumpled the letter and stormed out of the room. He wouldn't let this threat go unanswered. As he walked down the hallway, his mind raced with plans. He was ready to confront whoever was behind this. The letter's contents shocked the recipient, revealing a secret that would change everything. The recipient, visibly confused, struggled to process the implications of the message. A sinister figure, likely the sender, watched with a smirk, knowing the chaos the letter would cause. The recipient, now fully aware of the danger, felt a wave of anxiety wash over them. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the magic shop's inventory, sparking a sense of urgency. With the clock ticking, the protagonist knew they had to act fast to secure the rare artifact before it was lost forever. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a chilling truth. The sender knew exactly where the protagonist was, and they were coming for him. With a fierce resolve, the protagonist vowed to catch this bastard before it was too late. The camera pans to a dark, industrial setting, hinting at the dangerous path the protagonist must now take. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. The sender knew exactly who he was, and they were coming for him. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the dead sorcerer," sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a letter, it was a declaration of war. With a fierce resolve, he crumpled the letter. The dead sorcerer had made a mistake by underestimating him. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man who had been helping them was actually the mastermind behind the entire plot.